Mister Young and FRGN.
Kick to the gut!
Kick to the gut.
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 Kick to the gut. Kick to the gut.
Hey, Kick to the Gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the Gut podcast.
Kick to the gut podcast.
Kick to the gut.
Your podcast sucks!
Yo, we are back for your weekly dose of pro wrestling. What's going on? It's Mister Young.
And it's foreign in the building. Bro, I'm so excited. We're
Okay.
on the road to SummerSlam.
Bro, you look like you are on the road. Something seems a little bit different. What is going on? The background is different. You are somewhere else. Got a bit of a staycation going on, is it?
Bro, let's just say I'm currently at Parts Unknown.
Live from Parts Unknown.
It's on a need-to-know basis. So right now, the listeners don't need to know where I am.
Oh, okay. It's one of those situations. Okay, live via satellite. Very good, very good.
Sure. But no, I mean, it's okay. We are still doing it online. We have been doing it technically remotely this entire pandemic.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but E and AEW is coming out of the pandemic and crowds are back.
That's
what's
right.
important.
It is once again an exciting time to be watching pro wrestling. I have to say really quickly though, like the last 2 weeks were a bit weird because we weren't live, right? Because you had reservists to do and everything like that. But now it feels good to be here in the moment talking pro wrestling.
Yeah, man, I hope some of our listeners on YouTube is scrolling in right now slowly.
Yo.
Because we got a lot to discuss, my brother.
Absolutely. Let's give a shout out to Jason real quick, Div Royalty, The Shadow Lavin. What is up, y'all? Hey, feel free to jump into the chat when you have something you want to get off your chest. Maybe
Finally, we can reply straight away, so that's good.
Based on what we're talking about, or if you want to bring up anything random, hey, let us know, okay? And as always, we do the live stream on Mondays, right? But if you're like, oh, I can't make it on Mondays, no worries, bruh, no worries. You can always watch the video on demand on YouTube if you want to see our beautiful faces, or if you would rather not see our faces, also can. Just download the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are almost at 100 subscribers on YouTube. I know it doesn't sound a lot, but it's more friends than I have that I see on a day-to-day basis. So it's fine, bro. And of course, on Instagram, we're almost hitting 500 followers. So it's the big five. The big five, bro.
Yeah, we have to do our self-promos, shameless plugs a little bit. Drop us those follows. Hey, do us a favor, hit that like on the video right now that you're watching, all right? In the meantime, okay, yes, lots to unpack once again. Very quickly, though, looking back at this week in pro wrestling, a little bit of the same as last week. I'll reiterate. Raw, SmackDown, all right. NXT, yeah. AEW is on fire.
Yeah, man. I think AEW, it easily, bro, has like the biggest momentum out of all the wrestling companies. Don't you agree?
I agree with you 100% right now because of the new show. And yeah, usually when they are debuting a new show, it's the way it is, right? They pump all the promotion into that. Oh, what's going to happen? And we'll talk about the new show, AEW Rampage, in just a bit. Div Royalty said she got very confused when she realized SummerSlam is on a Saturday, which means Sunday morning for us. Yeah, and NXT is after that, which is where it usually is reserved for the main roster, right?
A bit terbalik, a bit terbalik this time around.
What is going on? So, very quickly, let's mention too, next week, we will come on live after NXT on our regular time slot. We are not like WWE. We stick to our time slot one, okay? We don't anyhow change.
We try our best to stick to our time.
Yes, we try. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay, but the thing is, right, you're right. But I believe, right, I don't know whether this is the Nick Khan or somebody, in management in WWE that's making this choice, but it actually benefits the international audiences. Because for most of us, right, it affects us because for them to have a Sunday night pay-per-view, that means on Monday, we are watching most of the shows on Monday morning. But for them to do SummerSlam on Saturday means it is Sunday morning for us, right?
Okay. Were there dirt sheet reports on why they moved it to a Saturday evening US time?
Not that I know of, but you have to understand, WWE did the Saturday announcement, I think, pretty late in the game after the announcement of the first dance, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
So first dance is technically Friday night, the one day before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So it's almost, I don't know who is preempting, who's programming in that sense.
Could it be, okay, we are like thinking too much into it. Could it be the venue was booked for something else and they needed to clear it? Could it be just a booking issue?
Well, is NXT TakeOver in the same arena? I don't think so because
NXT is at CWC.
okay, because SummerSlam is going to be a huge stadium, open air stadium, right?
At the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas.
It could be a scheduling thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what it is, and we are just overthinking it, as we usually do on the show. You'll have to excuse us for our little leaps of imagination or faith, as it were,
or our talking down the rabbit hole, sidetracking. Yeah, that's a normal thing for us.
But okay, a lot of interesting points have been brought up already in chat. Like, what's with the multiple quick matches on NXT? They're just trying to build up as many feuds as they possibly can, or progress them lah. That's what I think anyway, going into TakeOver. What if Punk and DB are just fake news? I'm telling you, one of those guys is not showing up. That's what I think.
I tell you, if both of them don't show up, it will be catastrophe for AEW. If one of them don't show up, if one of them don't show up, right, it's gonna be problematic as well, because you're kind of like, you've been giving us all these red herrings, and none of them happen.
Well, okay, Nicholas, what's up, yo? Thanks for jumping in the chat. Nicholas says, according to Dave Meltzer, who knows all, right? He is the fortune teller of the pro wrestling world. This was done. Actually, no, he's probably very well connected, so he has the news. I'm just being a dick. Anyway, it was done due to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas wanting it. So yeah, it's a venue booking issue. So the deal is it's a Saturday because the stadium in Vegas wanted a Saturday. The date's bad because it's the same as Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence. Really?
Is there a booking issue?
Oh, hang on. Actually, that's a very, very good thing.
But the Manny Pacquiao fight, is it in the same location, or it's just in the same area in Las Vegas as well?
Bro, I am going to ask Uncle Google right now, but I don't know how to spell Pacquiao, so so I'm like spelling all the wrong.
It's P-A-C-Kiao.
What is P-A-C-Kiao? Bro. Okay, versus Errol Spence. Let me put in date and time. I'm gonna Google. Why so slow today? Why so slow?
Oh wow.
It's on the 21st, I think. Wow, my Google is very slow today, my internet. I don't know why.
Bro, but 21st is it's the same weekend.
Oh, so that could be it. Okay, wait. Saturday, 21st of August. Dude, that's the exact same day as SummerSlam, no?
Yeah, so isn't that technically worse? Because you're kind of fighting at the same time. No, but is it happening in the same is the same city? Is it in Las Vegas as well?
Yeah. Of course, all these fights always happen in Las Vegas, right?
Very interesting. But you know what I mean? Like, okay, when you should know better. UFC, when they have their pay-per-views, usually isn't it on Saturday nights usually?
Yes, Saturday nights. Because, well, then again, okay, it's Vegas. So technically Vegas is there's no such thing as Monday, Tuesday. It's one entire 7-day cycle of debauchery. That's what Vegas
Basically,
is.
it's Genting lah. It's Genting Islands.
Oh, wait, no.
Everyone there on holiday.
Hey, Nicholas spreading fake news lah. He said that fight is no more.
Hey, alamak, Nicholas, please, you cannot comment already. Must ban you from the podcast.
You're trying to trick us bunch of old guys, right, into believing fake news. Tisk. Lucky I never share on WhatsApp.
Oh no! Don't share, bro. Later you become boomer already.
Okay. Anyway, let's talk a little bit. Oh, I saw actually. So Dolph Ziggler, he is a stand-up comedian, right? He was advertising on his Instagram page, after SummerSlam, come down to this club. He's going to be performing there, like his heel comedy tour or whatever the hell it is. I'm like, bro, are you even on the SummerSlam card? You're not, right? So you just siam to the comedy show.
That's smart marketing, man. Like, literally, he is using the SummerSlam audience.
Yeah.
Hey, after the show, you nothing better to do. Come see my pop. That's smart, man.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Nashwan, how you doing, bro? Nashwan just wrote Pofma in the chat. Pofma coming to get you. It's not the boogeyman coming to get you. It's Pofma coming to get you.
Bro, don't. Shamun Gaines. Have you seen that?
No, what is that?
Bro, go check out Mothership's latest post, right?
Okay.
Our K. Shamungam, our minister.
Oh, yeah. He was lifting weights like 150% of his own weight or something. I don't know how. Must have been a slow news day, bro. But just because the minister posted a video of him working out, they're going to make it like news, an article like, wow, bro, slow news day, is it?
Bro, that's why I had to combat the news by posting an article of Ric Flair showing his guns, you know?
Speaking of Ric Flair, that's a very good segue to what we are going to talk about right now, right? So recently released, now showing up at AAA's big event where Kenny Omega went up against El Idolo. Andrade.
Andrade.
And he was
So
Ric
it's
Flair.
very interesting, bro. So is Andrade a face in Mexico challenging a heel Omega or what?
I don't know. I honestly don't care because all I care about is the fact that Ric Flair is in Andrade El Idolo's corner as his, I don't know, I guess because he's his father-in-law. Remember a few weeks ago we were talking about how Ric Flair going to AEW would be cool because it's like father-in-law managing the son-in-law?
Yeah, I think it's great that they're acknowledging all this reality of their marriage and that kind of stuff. I mean, it helps give them a bit more of a route.
Yeah, well, I mean, and then it's not like a random connection, like legit connection. So how long till Charlotte Flair shows up in All Elite?
We shall see, depending on what happens at SummerSlam, I guess, right?
Yes, yeah. Can you imagine now WWE is probably like, okay, whatever you want, any booking you want, you win. Every title, you win. You are the queen. Because like, can you imagine if she does jump? That would be huge, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and you have to give credit to AEW's women division. Like in the last 2 years, going 3 years, okay, it started out like pure shit, right?
Yeah.
But now they are literally building step by step, brick by brick. We are literally seeing with our own eyes the women's division coming up.
You mean
in AEW.
Brit by Brit or Brit? See what I did there?
Britsburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, talking about AEW Rampage, right? So, okay, very quickly, I think it's quite inevitable that Ric Flair signs with AEW. I mean, the signs are all there, right?
TNT.
My only concern is the fella is how old. Please don't go and have him do some crazy shit in the ring. I know, and Booker T said on his podcast that, you know, Ric Flair has been in the gym. He wants one more run. I'm like, please don't hurt yourself.
How old is he? He's like 70 plus, right?
Yeah, like there comes a point, right, where it's like, I'm worried for the performer. I know as a performer, he doesn't want to, you know, just retire and fade in the background. Okay, be a manager. Don't freaking get one more match. I do not want to see him in one more match.
The only thing I want to see him is on a Ric Flair impersonation of against Jay Lethal, like in TNA. Like that's the only thing I want to see.
Right.
Oh, woo!
In any case, so, okay, let's talk about Rampage then, since we brought it up. Rampage, initial reactions. I remember you messaging me or you telling me, bro, this was the easiest bit of wrestling to watch. You know? Oh,
Yes.
somebody is calling you right now in your parts
from my undisclosed location.
Apparently, Parts Unknown has a very good, telephone network.
Oh dear gosh, I don't know how to like.
Is it Vince
Probably
McMahon
gonna
calling
just
you?
Ignore that. Yeah. Okay. Wait. So as I was saying, right? Yeah. Why it was easy for us to watch because it's 1 hour. The last time we had a 1 hour show, and we're not talking about main event or the 205 live, but last time we had a proper 1 hour show that I really enjoyed was NXT on the WWE Network, right?
Yeah. Okay. And the good thing about this 1 hour show is, right, there was more wrestling. And this is what they mentioned previously, before the show aired, was that it would be a more wrestling focused show. And yeah, you're right. It was very easy to watch. I enjoyed the hell out of it. The first match out of the gate. Okay, to be fair, I wonder if they just stacked the commentary booth for the first episode. And then will it be a rotating cast or what? Because you had Chris Jericho, who was amazing. Mark Henry, who was still, I feel like, trying to find his feet a bit. He was a bit slow on the uptake a little bit. But, I mean, his first major show as commentator, so can forgive lah. I mean, Hall of Famer.
In my opinion, right, one of the only negatives of the show is that you're right. The 4-man booth, I think, was too much. Even though some certain segments of the show, I think Mark Henry was interviewing people, so he was away from the booth.
Yeah.
But if I had a choice, to get rid of somebody from the show, it would be Chris Jericho as a commentator. Okay, here's the reason why.
Yeah.
I think Chris Jericho was overwhelming the rest of them. I think he was being a character, and I know it's entertaining per se, but then I mean Taz is technically a heel, right? Taz can be that slightly smarmy guy but still be professional, but I think Chris Jericho was too much of a personality on the booth.
I know where you're coming from. Like, at moments it was almost as if he just took over the whole show, right? And it became about him instead of the wrestlers and whatnot. So I agree with you, but I can hear seeds of like a Bobby the Brain Heenan if he just laid back a little bit, you know, like You know what I mean? Like this veteran who's loud and who's entertaining. I think it works. Maybe not on this show where there are already too many moving pieces. You have a lot of wrestling. You have a lot of commentators. Like Excalibur was fine. And this is like the first time you've ever heard me praise Excalibur, right? He's definitely picked up a lot from JR. I have to give him credit.
Yeah.
You know, he's no longer sort of going into like some random like, oh, in this day on this blah blah blah, and then like this awkward move or don't know what freaking move, right? With weird names. He's just calling the action, and yeah.
I think they're grooming him as to be the lead guy, to be like the Michael Cole on SmackDown. When it comes to AEW Rampage, he's like the guy that's leading the broadcast. I don't mind keeping Tess because Tess can show off that heel tendencies, but still be so-called objective. And Mark Henry, you know, I like Mark Henry because he reminds me of what?
What?
He reminds me of like Shaquille O'Neal on commentary during NBA games.
Oh
right?
my god. Okay, I haven't watched Shaquille O'Neal doing commentary or heard him, but the thing I had like issue with Mark Henry was it's like it takes him a while to get a thought out, and when the match is so fast paced and moving along, he gets cut off a lot, like, you know, because he haven't finished the thought, all of a sudden something happening, so he's not like the pace at which he announces is not quick enough yet. Maybe he just needs time to get used to it lah.
But I guess that's all right. But I also don't want him to be too on top of the action. I want him to be the guy giving the reaction. I want him to be the color guy, or like just have that random soundbite here and there, you know, the anecdotal kind of shit. Yeah. I think him being laid back is a nice compliment to Excalibur's high intensity energy.
Or Jericho's over the top energy. My God. He was all over, like to a point where his voice is starting getting higher and higher. I'm like, what is going on, Chris? You had how many cups of coffee, bro? So,
but the thing is about Chris Jericho, right? I feel like he is also, sometimes people forget that this is his first time doing commentary on a regular basis, only in AEW. So he's also learning on the job, if you think about it.
Well, I mean, for someone who's learning on the job, he's highly entertaining and very good. So I definitely see a career there for him. He's just laying the seeds. Do you notice? Everywhere he goes, he just lays a few seeds here and there. Like in 10 years' time, 20 years' time, when he really cannot wrestle anymore, have him there in the booth. Easy peasy.
Yeah, he got a career.
Yeah, if AEW doesn't want him, he can go WWE and be a commentator. Easy. By the way, I have to very quickly mention on chat, they're going on about how Foreign's eyebrows are looking on fleek today and very lit. So, yeah. Bro, your eyebrows, have you been, manscaping the eyebrows?
Bro, I just literally, maybe I showered and properly did a facial. I do not know. Maybe this whole time I was doing the podcast, right, I just woke up from my bed and straight did the podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, today he just happened to have, just washed his face, maybe moisturized a little bit so the eyebrows looking on fleek. But whatever you did to your eyebrows today, keep it up, my man.
I hope you guys don't mind my hair. I mean, I comb my hair for today.
See, alamak. Bro, you are thirst trap foreign today. Very good.
Okay, thanks guys. I appreciate it. Guys, please subscribe to my OnlyFans account. I need some money.
Okay. Actually, I wonder why nobody has come out with the title The Thirst Trap as a wrestler.
Oh my god.
Actually,
Traxxas, where are you? Are you listening to the podcast?
Who, Traxxas? Why Traxxas? He's never been a thirst trap. I mean, he got a nice body. He could be, but just
you know who I think would be a great thirst trap guy on NXT?
Who?
Austin Thirst Trap Theory.
Actually, yeah, right. And then he every day just Instagram posts ab photos, like his pants slightly lower than it should be. Thirst trap Austin Theory. Let's go.
That's a good one. Let's go.
Hidayah is like, I woke up like this. By the way, hashtag I woke up like this.
Guys, please don't make me shy, guys. Please focus on the content.
He blushing
not
already,
on our faces.
Okay. Let's get back to Rampage then. Rampage, we had the TNA, Impact Championship changing hands. Christian Cage. Thoughts, comments?
Oh, okay. The thing about this, right, was like, did you feel like Kenny Omega and Christian Cage felt a bit put together? Because they only had one promo on Dynamite to hype up the match. Like, we know that he was this contender in waiting. But I think after his initial debut, he was a bit bogged down by storylines with Jungle Boy, blah, blah, blah. So he kind of like fell out of our attention. But the match itself, holy crap. I think like as the match wore on, I got super invested in the match. What do you think?
I mean, it was a very good match. And you're exactly right. Like this whole Christian Cage, we kind of in the periphery knew that he was number one contender. They did mention it on commentary, but it was never like any focus. Like he's busy with the Hardy house family, whatever shit, right? And then now all of a sudden it's like, boom, he was thrust in there and he immediately wins a title away. I think they are doing this whole thing where Kenny is starting to lose all his titles. Hey, wait. Okay, I know Ric Flair showing up at AAA was the big deal, but did Kenny lose his title to Andrade or not?
No, Kenny retained.
Okay. But I feel like it's a matter of time.
Yeah. Okay. What's very interesting is, right, do you realize that Edge has been getting a lot of these plaudits and a lot of critical acclaim ever since he returned. Like, he's putting on good matches, great promos. But a lot of people underrate Christian because Christian is exactly in the same position. He came back after a long layoff. He's looked as great as he ever was, and now he's like, I think he can challenge as a contender and don't feel a bit like it doesn't feel like he's past his prime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but bro, that has been Christian's career his entire life, right? Like
Underrated. Right?
underrated. He's always been like, oh, Edge is a star, Christian is number 2, even in WWE.
A lot of people, right, talk about how smooth he is in the ring, how much of a great worker Christian is. And I think I really saw it in this match because Kenny Omega just brings out the best in people.
He does.
And when Christian came and faced against him, I felt like his ability to tell a great story. I think he brought a bit of that WWE style. It wasn't like move. There was story being told. And my personal favorite was the ending. Do you see how Kenny Omega sold that kill switch, bro?
Yeah, the kill switch onto the chair, and then he positioned his chair just perfectly in the gap. Like, I'm like, holy shit! Like, that was the like picture perfect. You talk about like the photos and the video clips, It's like Kenny Omega. I feel like, okay, you know what I feel like he is? He is this generation's like GIF maker, meme maker. You know, like that perfect moment he captures like all the time. I don't know how he does it.
He's perfect. That's why I say he's perfect for this era. Like, as much as people have his criticisms and how he performs, blah blah blah, he knows what the current audience want. They want things that they can share on social media, make it viral, smart.
So like his head's like in between the the seat and the backrest. Lovely.
Do you know who it reminds me of, bro?
Who?
Ricochet taking a RKO from Randy Orton and he cracked his neck.
Yeah. But okay lah, with Ricochet, it's like he can do all these cool things, right? And he can have these like cool photograph moments, but he never gets the rap. It's like, oh, he's just there to make the other guy look good. So,
but you know why? One thing that Kenny Omega has that Ricochet doesn't have?
Character, charisma.
Yeah, personality.
Unfortunately, yeah. But so Christian wins, obviously due to shenanigans and then screwed up shenanigans. It couldn't have been clean lah. So this obviously tells the story and sets up All Out, right?
Yes, correct.
But this kind of tells me that he's not going to win it All Out.
If nothing else, it makes me want to see a rematch at All Out because I felt like Kenny Omega will definitely not take this lying down.
Yeah.
I think he even tweeted something about like, oh, now he's really angry. Some shit like that. There's gonna be a lot of shit that's happening. Hey, and also one more thing, right, bro? You know how a lot of people was slightly disappointed that Hangman Page his storyline didn't culminate at All Out. Do you hear the news about what happened?
What happened? No.
He's actually he requested for time off. So it's not that AEW was the one that pulled the trigger or like pulled the rug under him. Because he's actually he's taking time off to take care of his son. His wife just had his first son.
Okay, so there you go. So he's a new dad. So I would like to think that maybe the original plan was to have him at All Out, but then because of him taking time off, now that's why the whole Christian build has been so like
sudden.
Sudden, yeah. Well, there you go. That makes sense. And Christian having been TNA champion before, it sort of fits. So that is why I also think that Christian will not be winning the AEW championship. And to me, it's quite obvious already. Like, he's won the Impact title. Oh, great. He's probably going to go defend it there part-time, whatever the heck case may be. But it kind of tells me, all right, Christian's not winning.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter in that sense because I feel like Christian will give that great match for Kenny Omega for that pay-per-view. And I think, right, this is something that I feel that a lot of people kind of don't realize. But remember last time when WWE had like stars, they are in the middle of a very hot run, hot momentum, they really disregard their personal life. Like, okay, they're going to miss their child's birthdays. If their child getting, get born or whatever it is, like they will like totally disregard their personal life because they won't even take surgery if they're injured because they want to go on this run.
They want to retain their top spot. Yeah.
Correct. I think AEW is setting this good precedent for the industry where they're saying like, doesn't matter how hot of a run or what, but if you need personal time off, we'll take care of it. We'll work around it for you guys. So I think that's maybe commendable in a way.
Yeah. If it is indeed the case, lah. Like, I mean, honestly, do we really know if that's what they said was happening, or did it just happen that he's like, I want to take time off? They're like, oh, okay.
I believe that's the case because they did put out a statement about him taking time off for the birth of his child.
Okay.
So yeah, so but that's the thing. Like I think maybe I trust AEW more in being honest with their audience.
Well, at least we know that them going on a break, taking time out won't lead to them getting released 3-4 weeks down the road, as a certain WWE may or may not have done. But yeah, let's not get into that. The main event, actually, how many were there? Just 2 matches? Or is it 3? I forget. No, 3. There was
only 3 matches, bro. And I think that's what made it so refreshingly fast to watch.
And they all had storylines going, for them. Miro and what's that guy's name?
El Fuego. I know he's El Fuego.
El Fuego, something El Fuego Fuego Burrito. Anyway, yeah, I mean, he got squashed, but Tony Khan had to make an appearance. I'm telling you, bro, this is a slippery slope, huh? Slippery slope, huh, bro? You watch in about a year, 2 years time, the entire Rampage will be just Tony Khan sitting there, announce booth.
Bro, today he walked out, right, just to hug Sammy Guevara. 2 years from now, Austin versus McMahon.
Oh God.
Tony Khan versus Hangman Page.
Oh God, stop it, bro, stop it. But yeah, that was a cool moment. Sammy Guevara coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, we're best friends. Here's your contract." That was great. Nice moment. And then, of course, Britt Baker versus Velvet. Was it Red Velvet? That's her name, right?
Yes, correct. Red Velvet. What do you think about Red Velvet and Britt Baker main eventing, like the first ever Rampage? Did it feel forced or did it feel like quite a natural combination?
It felt forced in that, okay, like we know, it makes sense because that's Britt Baker's hometown, right? So you want the one with the most heat to wrap up the show. So you get your hot finish. But Red Velvet, wasn't she a face? The last time we saw her on AEW Dynamite,
she was a face, and I think the management acknowledged the fact that even though she's a face, she's definitely gonna get booed in this hometown of Britt Baker, right?
Yeah.
So she played a de facto heel in the match itself, in the context of the match.
I know, but see, to me that is a bit annoying in that she never was that heel. Like she played heel tendencies, like was overly aggressive, and then all of a sudden, because she is the de facto heel here, she becomes this heel type character. And then Chris Statlander comes out at the end of the match, and the whole time she's been face, but because she's coming to help Red Velvet, she's the heel, and it just got very confusing to me.
I get what you mean, because the best example of someone who played the heel in the context of the match but still retain his face self was, I think, Rock versus Hogan. Like Rock halfway realized it and called an audible and started becoming a heel in the process of the match. But at the end of the match, they reverted back to him being a face, right? But I think maybe it's a bit of a stretch expecting Red Velvet to know how to play to the crowd.
Exactly.
I think she just gotten direction from her agent. Okay, for this match, never mind, just play the heel, just all out heel. Maybe.
Maybe it's a case of people don't know who you are anyway, just play heel.
I mean, isn't she like Brandy Rhodes? Oh no lah.
No, yeah, exactly. Or the other one, the one that's super tall and jacked. What's her name already?
Jade
Cargill. Yeah. So
the
I
thing
think
is, right, the only downer at the end of this match was when they had this reveal of the person that came to back up Britt Baker.
Oh yeah.
And she opened her hood, right? I was like, hey, who's this girl?
Oh wait, Jamie Hayter, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's like,
I didn't know.
Who you? Who the hell are you?
And I think the crowd reacted the same because I think none of the crowd realized or recognized who she is.
I don't even know who Jamie Hayter is. They mentioned that she used to be in AEW and then she disappeared for a while because of injury or something, but it's not like she was a main eventer. And then she it's not like Becky Lynch disappeared and then suddenly Becky Lynch is back as a heel. No, this is like, who? So yeah.
She didn't even had enough time to make an impression. Like maybe if it was like a Riho, at least people know or recognize, right?
Yeah, there was no recognition, so it was a bit of a downer, you're right. But I think, ending the show with Britt Baker winning made all the sense in the world. So they got off to a hot start. Now, can they maintain it? I think with a 1 hour show, they can. Like this. You know what it feels like to me, Rampage? It feels like an extension of Dynamite. We don't have enough time to tell all the stories on Dynamite. Rampage will be the place that we tell those stories. So they have a very good situation right now where it's like, okay, if you have maybe you have 4 main feuds and 2 sub feuds, right? So maybe Dynamite, all 3 main feuds were featured. We take that one other main feud, put it on Rampage, we put the other 2 sub feuds on Rampage. And then you mix and match. So you always have something fresh. So maybe 1 week like this week, Kenny Omega. Next week, it could be John Moxley headlining. The following week, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like they have a rotating cast of stars that they can just insert. Okay, we need a main eventer guy to headline this show. But what my question is this show live or is this recorded?
Actually, I don't know.
Right? Because the crowd look very similar to the Dynamite crowd. So maybe, right, what if they did this 1 hour recording like right after Dynamite every single week?
Actually, it would make a lot of sense. You know why? Because they're not going to do a live 1 hour show for...
audience to come in just to watch 1 hour of wrestling.
Unless they film like 2 hours of Dark or Elevation before that, I don't know. But
okay,
the
only way to know whether this is live or recorded is this week's AEW Dynamite. If it's at the United Center in Chicago as well, then you know that it's like recorded right after the fact.
Right. I mean, okay lah. To be fair, like I said, even if it's two separate shows, right? You can have dark matches like AEW Dark, AEW Elevation. So that's where you get to see your favorites like Best Friends and
Sonny Kiss.
Is he still with the company?
Joey Janela just turned on her or something, I think.
Oh,
most recently on AEW Dark. So bro, the thing is AEW Dark and Elevation actually have storylines apparently, bro.
Which is great. Like, let them build their, characters and history
on YouTube.
Almost like an NXT lah in that sense. So yeah, I think this is the most like positivity we've had for AEW in a long time. But then AEW is firing on all cylinders right now. Better than Raw, which has been boring. I like literally, if you ask me what happened on Raw, I'm like, I don't remember. It wasn't very memorable to me.
Okay, and also the thing is, we have to acknowledge the fact that AEW is building momentum towards Rampage this week. First dance.
Yeah. Where CM Punk may or may not show up. Daniel Bryan may or may not show up.
So we have that to look forward to. So my question is, post the first dance episode, how is AEW Rampage going to keep up that momentum? So I'm looking forward to that. And if really CM Punk appear, bro, it changes the game.
No, it does, right? But really lah, if he doesn't, it would be like a huge...
It would be like WrestleMania 32 where everyone expected like John Moxley to have an awesome match with Brock Lesnar.
You know what it will be like? It will be like the exploding ring. That's what it will be like. Okay? That's exactly what it is.
Oh no. So that means AEW already got a track record, bro. How?
Of disappointment, of letting you down, of at the last minute...
Yeah. Oh my God. Blood and guts. Oh, don't talk about it.
Okay. But let's at least what they've done is made us want to watch the next episode. So kudos to them. And I really do hope that they sort out the commentator situation. I think those four maybe a bit too much, especially with Chris Jericho's energy.
Yeah, teething problems lah, but I think more positives than negatives for sure.
Oh, for sure. That being said, all right, let's go on to SummerSlam and let's talk about preview right now because SummerSlam will be this Sunday Singapore time, and I'm gonna be up watching that shit. So are you ready? Are you ready to dive right in?
I'm ready, man. I gotta talk about John Cena. I gotta talk about Roman Reigns. I'm excited for that, bro.
Okay, do take note that in just a little while too, we'll cover NXT TakeOver and the death of NXT as we know it. Yes, we're gonna go there. All right, but that's coming up in a little while. In the meantime, okay, let's jump into SummerSlam then. Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal with Veer and Shanky. So far, no stipulations, which I am actually kind of like sad about because
why is there no sword on a pole match, bro?
Can you imagine halfway the sword drops and stabs somebody to death? Come on. Remember when a couple of weeks ago Jinder Mahal brought out the lawyer and shit like that? I'm like, why isn't the lawyer part of this as a storyline? Like, of all the matches, I'm like, this is the one where you can have funny shenanigan nonsense moments. Like I'm suing you for assault or something like that. Like, I guess maybe on Raw there's still time tomorrow morning, our time, for them to add a stipulation. But right now, it just looks like Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal, which I feel like we've seen a lot of.
I feel Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre is almost like the feud hasn't really had enough time to gain heat. Like, it hasn't heated up yet. And some of the interactions a bit like, bleh, man. Okay, you know what I enjoyed this past week on Raw? Like, I enjoyed when they got Baron Corbin, even though it's very random, fighting against Drew McIntyre. And then Drew McIntyre asked, so how much money you really need? Oh, I just need $100,000.
Then he was like, what? Okay, lah.
And then he was like,
But bro,
so I think they kind of like veered the storyline away because Baron Corbin obviously is more entertaining than Jinder Mahal.
bro, I was about to say that. So who's the entertaining one of that whole equation? It's Baron Corbin. It's not Drew or Jinder in that case, right? It was just an excuse to throw something different in before this whole thing lah. Anyway, Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre have like a history, weren't they? Like the Dogs of War or something at one point, together with Bobby.
Yeah, Yes, they were. And I don't know whether you saw this on YouTube, but they had a watch along recently, right? There was like a Drew McIntyre and Riddle sat together and did a watch along of their triple threat match with AJ Styles. I think to qualify for Money in the Bank or qualify for Hell in a Cell, I can't remember. But it was so funny because Drew McIntyre mentioned offhand like about that he had a triple threat match at Backlash with was it Keith Lee? Oh no, Drew, Bobby, and then the other guy. He said the other guy. So he didn't acknowledge Braun Strowman.
Because Braun Strowman is gone, right?
Yeah. So it's very interesting that Drew McIntyre is kind of like towing that company line in the sense. So when you talk about Dogs of War, Baron Corbin was with Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman, if you remember.
Very quickly want to mention that even Chad agrees that Baron Corbin is the best thing in WWE right now. Baron Corbin is a star. Those are just some of the comments being thrown out there. So yeah,
awesome.
Apparently acting poor thing is really working for him right now. The question is though, how are they gonna pay that off?
I think they've already had seeds of them paying them off on SmackDown. If you watch what happened at the end of the match,
like
right?
He can't quote unquote beg the fans anymore. So what will next week's episode be? Some other way he tries to make money? I guess that's the.
I think you missed one particular segment because at the end of the match and he was said all about, didn't he steal the Money in the Bank from Big E?
Right. Oh yeah, I forgot about that actually. And they're actually, I saw this on Instagram, right? They are doing this in house shows as well, where he holds the briefcase. They have interactions, but he runs off with the briefcase. So yeah, you're right. So I guess there's going to be a program with Big E and the briefcase.
And you know what was funny? Because I was watching SmackDown live when that happened. I honestly thought that was like a brilliant plot twist.
Yeah.
Like, because everyone thought, okay, he really lose, he cannot ask money. So like, where is he gonna go? I thought he was gonna walk out of the arena all sad, and then suddenly he just saw the Money in the Bank. Run away.
So you're right. There is, I don't know, something interesting there lah. At least these two, have they feuded before? I feel like it's. Actually, no, right?
Not really with a story, no.
Okay, so you have a fresh feud with arguably fresh characters and with actual stakes. So there you go.
Yeah. I like how, we were supposed to be previewing Drew versus Jinder and we completely ignored that fact and straight we started talking about how awesome Corbin is. So
I wonder if that's going to be a match added to SummerSlam.
I think it's too late. I mean, unless something happens on SmackDown this weekend.
Pre-show, bro. Pre-show. Actually, you know what should be the pre-show? A match I'm going to bring up right now. Sheamus versus Damian Priest. Let's move on to the United States Championship. Look, I think we are all fans of Damian Priest as the worker, but for whatever reason, he's just like after the whole Bad Bunny thing, just flat lah to me. And funnily enough, yesterday I was very bored, so I rewatched WrestleMania, this year's WrestleMania.
Really?
Just to have like noise in the background while I did work, right? And then I paid attention when it was Damian Priest and Bad Bunny versus Miz and Morrison. I'm just paying attention to listen to the crowd. Wow.
No reaction.
Not saying no reaction. There was some reaction, but all the reaction was for Bad Bunny, Miz and Morrison. Damian Priest was just he was there. So I think this whole Bad Bunny thing, while it was cool for WWE, mainstream eyes, it didn't do him any good at all.
The problem with Damian Priest, right, since he came on Raw, he was essentially the lackey for Bad Bunny. And when Bad Bunny left, they didn't put the time and effort to build up his character, give him some backstage segments.
In fact, he just disappeared.
Take him out of TV for a couple of months. He disappeared for a couple of months, right?
Essentially killing any heat that he had whatsoever.
Yeah. But problem is he actually looks like a star. I think he can cut great promos if you give him a chance. But then even this Sheamus match, right, is put together very last minute.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know if they're going to go with the whole face thing, like Sheamus is going through his broken nose phase. He's wearing a mask a la Cody Rhodes. So
I believe that this match will be a good match. It's just that because there is a lack of story.
Yep.
And I think what we've discussed all along is like, you can put two people fighting together, but if there's no reason why we should get invested in why they fight, we don't care.
Yeah, exactly, right? I love how the comment section is going off on the whole Money in the Bank situation. Like, literally, one of the more compelling storylines isn't going to be featured on SummerSlam. The whole Baron Corbin thing, right? Let's see. Oh, totally did not mention Nakamura winning the IC championship. Yes, but I don't really quite care because Boogs and Nakamura to me is not interesting anymore. Like, after the first few weeks of air guitar and Pat McAfee losing his shit, it's like, okay, like every week the same thing now, you know? So...
And I think the fact that they paid off that storyline on SmackDown and not on like a main show like SummerSlam kind of shows you that even WWE might have soured a bit on Apollo Crews, and which is kind of sad lah.
Yeah. Also, Nicholas says if John Cena can sign his name on Finn Balor's contract, and taking the title shot, what's stopping Corbin from stealing the Money in the Bank briefcase? Okay lah. So WWE is the land of if I can take it, it's mine, right? But possession is 9/10 of the law. That's a very old phrase in WWE, which Pat McAfee referenced this past SmackDown, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I did appreciate that. Not, I think once he starts saying "as God as my witness," then I know that he really he's a fan lah.
No, but I feel like he's a very old school fan where he quotes like Bobby the Brain and Gorilla Monsoon. So I'm like, wow, respect.
Still, my favorite call from Pat McAfee. You know which one or not?
Which one?
When John Cena first came out, then I'm like, "Oh my God, it's John Cena!" And then he replied, "Where?"
He like you can tell he's a fan and he's just good for the announce team right now. You can tell that they are having fun. Funnily enough, you know, I was also when bored this past weekend watching Invasion, the pay-per-view. It was JR and Michael Cole. They had no chemistry together. Like it was It was like it wasn't bad, but it was very bland because it's two play-by-play guys. You know?
Okay. And that is so interesting because when you talk about you watching Invasion is 2001, right?
Yeah.
I was rewatching. You know what?
What?
SummerSlam 2001. There's a pay-per-view right after that.
Hey, it's interesting what we're doing this past weekend. Watching old wrestling instead of, you know, the current product again.
I think usually what I do to get myself hyped for SummerSlam, and we did it last year, remember? We went and walked down memory lane, talk about SummerSlam memories. I like to like randomly pick up like a SummerSlam from, I don't know, from the 2000s, that is my era, just to rewatch it. So like, I think 2 weeks ago, I was watching SummerSlam 2005.
Oh, wow.
Because of the whole Ray and Eddie custody of Dominic match.
Yeah.
The thing is, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I enjoyed the commentary of that match particularly because I think when Michael Cole puts in a lot of emotion and he gets invested in a match, I think it's really good though, in my opinion.
I feel like Michael Cole needs to have the lead. Michael Cole and JR doesn't work because they both are the types who want the lead. And JR has said in the interviews before, he wants to be the lead. He has to be the lead. I was listening to one grilling JR, actually, he was talking about that. You know, like that's why he didn't want to go to I think it was TNA. They offered him as well. That's why he went to AEW instead, right? Like he wants to have the lead, and in a way, in Dynamite, he does. It's him. Tony Schiavone is like the announcer / backstage interviewer, and Excalibur is the one calling moves.
Okay, no, but that's interesting because I always thought when I watch Dynamite, right, the one that is actually carrying the storylines and everything is actually Schiavone though, and I kind of get Gordon Solly vibes from JR because JR is like more of like a bit laid back. He just comes in for the big moments and comments on that. Yeah, well, but the one driving the story is, to me, is Schiavone though.
Maybe in a way when he says he is the lead, as in he is the one driving the narrative. So maybe he is telling, or when he does his notes, he's like, okay, you talk about this. You know what I mean?
Okay, just the one like supervising everyone as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay,
which,
makes sense.
Plus or minus, like sometimes I feel like you have to give it to the younger guys because he's not as quick to react anymore, I don't think. But that's a discussion for another day. Okay, hasn't the Money in the Bank briefcase been stolen before? I mean, it was legally stolen from Otis, if you remember, from The Miz. But have there been cases where another superstar just steals it and then they have to fight in a proper match for it back?
Not that I remember. The only technically kena stolen was Edge, right? Edge stole the Money in the Bank from Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy.
Wait, then did he cash it in?
Way back in the day, yeah, he did, because Kennedy won the Money in the Bank, but he got injured, and then Edge stole it, and then he cashed the Money in the Bank on Undertaker.
So
that was in 2007.
So technically, there's precedence, as in Baron Corbin could come in and cash in his Money in the Bank anytime. I mean, not his, Big E's money. Can you imagine? They do Big E dirty like this, like freaking John.
No.
Okay. Oh, let me fast forward to the main event here real quick. Can you imagine if John Cena wins the title, and then freaking Baron Corbin comes in?
Oh no.
And you remember who was the one who cost Baron Corbin his first Money in the Bank shot? Cash
John
in.
Cena.
Can you imagine this like full circle?
No, bro, it is a full circle, but it's not the story that people want to watch.
Bro, I low-key want to see that shit now. So you
Bro,
have...
you think what? Marvel What If, is it?
No, yeah, I want John Cena to beat Roman Reigns, because that would be a swerve, but it will be like a pop the crowd swerve. And then Baron Corbin, who's arguably the hottest he's ever been, come in and steal it from John Cena in a full circle moment. Yes,
Oh
book it.
dear gosh.
Mr. Young, best booker of 2021. Book that shit. That's what I would have booked.
Okay. Chat, do you guys really want to see that, or is the Young off his rocker?
No, then the next night, Big E can challenge and Big E gets the title. How about that?
I mean, okay, it's great for pushing the young guys, I would admit. It's just that I do not know whether that's the what. Okay, the crowd, I think, just wants a definitive match between Cena and Roman Reigns. But what happens after that? Hey, sky's the limit. Like, it's a free world. You can do whatever you want.
Bro, I'm telling you, that's the way they should book it. Anyway, let's move on. I'm taking a page out of the Vince Russo shock booking school of thought.
School of short booking.
Yeah, let's talk about Edge versus Seth Rollins right now. It's one of those matches. I feel like there hasn't been a lot of back and forth in that. Yeah, like they've been promoing against each other. All the promos have been good. Seth Rollins can essentially play the Joker at this point, like as in, you know, the DC character, the Joker.
Yeah, I think the match sells itself. I think it's a dream match. So it's like when you tell me, okay, Kurt Angle's gonna fight Shawn Michaels, I don't need a story.
Yeah.
Just put them in the ring, bro.
Yeah.
But did you see the package though on SmackDown? I think that was a great package.
You're talking about the one where Seth Rollins like did his own package, is it?
Yeah, where he said like whatever Edge did, I've done it much better.
Yes.
And then they showed it.
Yeah. I mean, it's perfect. Like, it fits right in with Seth's character, so he's killing it right now. We know that Edge will bring it, so it's gonna be a fun match. Honestly, like, I don't even want to talk that long and hard about it, because it is what it is, right? Then,
and you know what's the best part?
What?
I don't care who wins.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care who wins. Both is gonna be great.
You're right. It's essentially an attraction match. Like, it's just, you know, it's gonna be entertaining. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's move on then. Is this gonna be on the pre-show? I feel like they might demote this to the pre-show. The Usos versus the Mysterios.
Usos. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, but have you seen like the teasings of dissension between Ray and Dominic?
Did they really? Like, okay,
It's
in
very
what way?
early lah. Very early on, because I feel like Rey Mysterio is like just being that dad who is like just picking on the son, like pointing out the mistakes. Hey, you're dumb. You must listen to him. Blah blah blah. And I know at this point in time, Dominic is playing like the good boy, like listening to the father. Like, okay, that. But you know that this is a possibility that, you know, it might lead to them having disarguments and a fallout.
WrestleMania lah. Father son.
But you know what's the problem, right?
What?
Dominic can't act for shit.
So, you know what needs to happen then? Bring back Murphy, bring back Aaliyah, give me Humberto Carrillo. I can write them a storyline. Come on, man. This is a telenovela storyline. What?
Okay, the thing is, right, Dominic, right, I think a lot of people want him to succeed as like a face, like a baby, because he is a baby face. Come on.
He's literally a baby face, yeah.
Yeah, so like maybe, right, it could be a swerve, right? Instead of him turning heel, he just gets angry and sad, and then like it become like telenovela. And the dad is like, the mom is like, oh, you're being too hard on your son, and blah blah blah.
No, I want to see the mom cry on TV. I want to see Aaliyah cry. Like just the worst acting ever. Just like
This time last year, didn't Dominic had his debut match against Seth Rollins, that one-on-one match
What?
at SummerSlam?
I don't remember. Was it this
Oh,
year?
you don't
I mean, this.
You don't remember
month?
last year's SummerSlam?
Last year SummerSlam, was it the eye match?
Okay, the I match was Extreme Rules,
Okay.
horror.
Oh,
But
God.
then SummerSlam was the first time Dominic had a one-on-one match with Seth Rollins, and it was the first time the Thunderdome debuted
Right.
on SummerSlam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I thought that match was really a great coming out party for Dominic. So it's good that they're still carrying on with him as like pushing him as not really as a main guy.
Yeah.
They know that he has flaws. Keeping it as a tag team, I think is the best at this point. I don't really want to see a one-on-one rivalry that he has right now.
Yeah, because of his acting or lack thereof skills, huh?
Yeah.
Jason and Hidayah both say Mister Young, best booker of 2021. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's go. They need to hire.
Respect.
My booking and your eyebrows on fire today. But in all honesty though, this really does have pre-show vibes. I kind of don't care unless they're really going to tease Ray and Dominic breaking up. But like you said, like, I don't know if Dominic is ready for that.
I also kind of not say a bit sad, but like it's kind of disheartening to see the Usos relegated back to just being a tag team. Like they had so much character in the last 1 year, and now I feel like they I don't know, maybe they're taking a step back because of what happened, the DUIs.
Yeah.
Like, okay, don't push them too much.
Which one was it, Jimmy or Jay?
I think it's Jimmy, bro.
Wait, so main event is I have them confused already.
Main event Jay.
Okay, so Jay
Uso.
Jay was the one who had the big run, and then Jimmy was the one who just came back. And at first, you thought there was going to be dissension, but then 1 week he's just like, "Oh, okay, I follow your lead." And that storyline went nowhere. That was really annoying to me. Like, at least have a match where he finally is like, "I acknowledge you." But no, one day he was like, "Okay, I acknowledge you, and then they're friends.
No, because the week that happened was right after the DUI, bro.
Oh, okay. So they are like, okay, we're pulling back every storyline with you.
I think so.
Just like, okay, keeping you quiet. You just then Jay must be pissed off. He's like, fuck, I could have had a moment, but because of you, idiot, bro.
And also remember they had that whole thing where Roman Reigns like group hug all of them. Okay, we are all family. We still accept you no matter what you did.
Yeah.
And it was like a hint to that DUI in a way.
Oh, okay. So maybe. Yeah, there you go. SmackDown Tag Team Championships. At this point, a prop. Hopefully something comes of it. All right, let's move on then. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. A rematch of WrestleMania, of course. Sasha Banks coming back as a heel to nobody's surprise, really.
Do you feel that there's slightly better hype this time around for this match as compared to the first time around?
Yeah, because like we talked about it when we were previewing and reviewing WrestleMania, right? Like they were both face at the point. There wasn't a clear delineation. This one face, this one heel. They were both just like, oh, okay, I'm good, you're good, let's fight. No real stakes other than the title, right? This time around, Sasha literally backstabbed Bianca. Has been doing shit. She did the bank statement on the table, which was a cool visual on SmackDown. So yeah.
And now suddenly she got like the Carmella and Zelina Vega being her lackeys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very convenient, but whatever lah. But I just feel that Sasha Banks just needs to. I think every time she comes back, she outshines Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
Do you feel so?
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. See, the thing with Bianca Belair, I feel like because she grew up in the pandemic era, i.e. the PC and then Thunderdome, right? She hasn't really had time to soak in real life crowds, and that's a real thing. So it's very hard for these athletes who I was listening to, I think after the bell, the Corey Grace podcast, which is fantastic, by the way. And they were talking about how, like, some of these NXT call-ups, they've literally started working in front of non-crowds. And when there's no crowd, you tend to speed things up. You don't milk the moments because there's no crowd to tell you that you should soak in the moment, that the veterans know what to do. They will take their time. Whereas maybe Bianca Belair is moving a step too fast. So maybe that's why her matches seem a little bit like, okay, she's not milking the moments.
Dominic as well, I feel. Because Dominic also is someone that grew up in that pandemic era. You know what's my favorite version of Bianca?
What's that?
Is the you don't even go there.
Okay, why was Bianca way more compelling on NXT? She was a heel. She was a cocky, overconfident heel, right?
She had attitude.
Yeah. When she became face, she's all about, people told me I couldn't do it. But you're the best at everything. You are the EST. You're literally telling everybody you are the best. And now, like, the character a bit don't fit like that. You know what I mean? Like, she literally calls herself the best, but yet she got confidence issues. So I'm like,
There was only one time I enjoyed her being a face. Do you remember, like, I think the SmackDown after WrestleMania when she came back, and then I think the Street Profits came out with her and congratulated her. And then after that, I think they were challenging for the title, and then Bianca was like a bit. She had this line which I kind of like. She said to Montez, like, we only got gold in this family. Only people with gold is allowed in this family. And I thought that was a great. It was actually a reference, in my opinion, to what Vanessa Bryant said to Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember, because she said in her eulogy or something like that to Kobe, is like, we only want champions in this household. It's almost like she's challenging Kobe, kind of thing, like motivating him. And I know it sounds kind of pretentious, but I feel like that is in line with Bianca's character. If she thinks she's the best, she only want a man that can like be the best, right? So you gotta be a champion to be in this household, boy. So
she should be with the Usos instead of Montez, because he's not really, gunning for any championship right now.
She should be with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Why not Roman Reigns? Bro,
Black knees, bro.
What the hell? Rishi, how you doing, man? Rishi just dropped by saying late to the party, but we'll check out the podcast. See, hey, we appreciate that. If you're jumping in on the YouTube live stream right now, you're like, what did these two idiots talk about? We just talked about AEW Rampage and everything. You can always check out the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Jason agrees that Bianca Belair has zero character development. Rishi points out, we need her as a babyface. Too many heels. I was about to say that, actually. There are too many heels. It's like... What happened to the face? Why are the faces not working on SmackDown? Who can you name me a face woman on face woman? A female wrestler who's a face on SmackDown? A face woman.
A face? No, I can't. And that's the thing. You doesn't mean you're a face. You have to be boring, right?
Yeah.
Like The Rock was a face. Like John Cena, Chris Jericho in 2005, they were faces. Like, you can be a face, but I think what people enjoy is you are not a black and white character. Oh, I'm a good guy. I'm just gonna be like this straight and arrow guy. Like, I want you to have personality. I want you to be cocky. Somebody that works right now, bro, as a face in a weird ass way. Isn't Randy Orton technically a face right now?
He's just actually, he's transcended that. He's just being Randy Orton.
He don't give a fuck. Randy is being Randy.
He's doing Randy Orton things. If he RKO's Riddle, which he did, he's just being Randy Orton. We still freaking cheer because we love the RKO. We love Randy Orton. So he's moved on. Bianca has a long way to go before she reaches that status. Can we agree?
Yeah, so if Bianca just be this don't give a fuck, like, I know I'm the best kind of shit, and she acts like that, I think it's even more weird. Like Britt Baker in a way, even though Britt Baker's technically being positioned as a heel, but if she became a face and still acted like that, I think she's still gonna be a mega star. Yeah,
it just depends on the story they're in. So, like you said, just coming back to this feud, right? It feels like there's more to it, yes, but I feel like it's still missing something. And I feel like this could be the opportunity for one Becky Lynch to return.
So Becky Lynch return on Raw or on SmackDown?
SmackDown. Because Raw has Charlotte. She's doing her whole thing with Rhea and Nikki. So let them do their thing lah. Like that. And SmackDown really needs a face, right? Becky Lynch.
So what do you think, right? What do you think if Sasha were to win at SummerSlam and then the one that confronts her next week or on the SmackDown right after is Becky Lynch?
Why not? And I feel like they could do like a 4-way or 3-way top tier feud. Why not? We haven't seen one of those in a while, right? And yeah, you can have Carmella and Zelina Vega as like your second tier, sort of once in a while they get inserted into the picture, but they're kind of there because let's face it, both of them are not ready for a main event run. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And it's very interesting if you talk about Sasha fighting against Becky Lynch because in 2019, the roles were, was the roles the same? Technically, Sasha was also a heel, Becky was also the face.
Wow, but this time they have... This time they have Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch with her star power can elevate Bianca Belair. So they can have a 3-way feud once 9 months pass and Bayley's back. 4-way feud.
Okay, that's SmackDown. Okay, you're right. SmackDown needs a bit more face star power for the women.
Yep.
And maybe Becky's a remedy.
Now who's a bigger face than Becky, right? And maybe, if anything, this gives us time away from Becky versus Charlotte, which... Like we've talked about, it seems like we've seen that feud forever, but technically they never had their blow off. So maybe, let them be on separate brands for a while. Oh, Jason says Liv Morgan is a babyface. When was the last time we saw Liv Morgan? Though,
Oh,
unfortunately,
man,
okay, Liv Morgan I would put in the same tier or category as Zelina Vega and Carmella, as in they are trying, but they are not there yet.
Yeah, such a shame though, because I think she has everything it takes to be like a great like face, baby face.
Yeah, true, but it boils down to the in-ring work lah. Like, you know, you've seen her matches. No, I mean,
okay, bro, I know why she didn't get pushed.
why?
Remember a couple of weeks ago, her and Zelina Vega was on commentary. You want to do it, bruh?
You want to do it, bruh? Yeah, no,
Come here, bruh.
They are not there. They are 100% not there. They you want to do it, bruh? Like, oh my god.
Let's go, bruh. Let's go, bruh. Like that, right, bruh? Let's go. Oh dear gosh.
Okay, yeah, that settles the whole thing already.
That explains everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Now you know why.
Bruh. And then put her with what? All of a sudden, Foreign is showing off his pecs and everything, yeah. And maybe
Specs on fleek.
Maybe Liv and Riddle can be a tag team or something. Bro and bro.
The bro and bra.
Bro. That can be only Vaughn. How you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Vaughn says,
what's up?
Plans are fine, but don't forget about the draft. Have there been rumors about a draft, by the way, when it could be? Because it does seem like it's coming soon, right?
Well, the last 2 years, the draft has always been somewhere in October, remember?
There you go. They could shake things up.
We never know.
All right, let's move on then. Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. Goldberg.
Let's preface this by starting on a more positive note. Did you check out the Bobby Lashley's Broken Skull sessions?
No,
it's already live on.
It's already live on the WWE Network. Okay, cool. But I haven't checked it out yet.
Okay, can I just say that Bobby Lashley came across as the sweetest, nicest guy on the podcast, like fucking cute, yeah. He damn adorable. I tell you. Later you see the podcast, you understand what I mean.
See, I am not even remotely surprised by what you've just said, because I think that has always been Bobby Lashley's quote unquote problem, right? He's
nice.
He's a nice guy, but he looks like a monster, and he's always been portrayed as a monster, but it's not him.
You know what's interesting? Okay, so I might spoil a bit. So for those who are listening to the podcast, please check out the Broken Skull session, because I think it will show a different side of Bobby Lashley. It will put him a different light, and I think you will appreciate him much more after watching it. But he wanted, okay, so when they were forming the Hurt Business, right? Remember there was a couple of episodes, or there was where they were kind of like auditioning Apollo Crews lah, Ricochet lah. They were trying to then in the end they settle on like hiring so-called Cedric, right, to be part of the group. Actually, right, they legitimately were auditioning all of them because he went to management. He was pushing for all these people that he wanted to work with, and then they say, okay, fine, these are the people that I want to join, but at the end of the day, the creative team is the one going to decide, right? So they started writing storylines for their interaction to see whether they got chemistry. And you know, he actually didn't want Cedric Alexander.
Really? Okay.
You know who he was pushing the hardest for?
Who?
Apollo Crews.
Oh.
Do you know why?
Why?
Take a guess.
I don't know. Why?
Bobby Lashley's biggest problem was he was too much of a smiley baby face, right? What was Apollo Crews' biggest problem before he turned heel?
Same problem.
Yes.
Too much of a smiley baby face.
So what Bobby Lashley was saying on the podcast was like, Apollo Crews reminded him so much of himself and the problems that he went through, and he wanted him to be in this in this faction too, so that people can showcase that he's actually not just this great ability, he got intensity. So he talked about how only later in his career he developed this like he keeps saying, he didn't even say intensity. He's like, when I fight, right, I want to show like my
right.
That's what made him intense. And that was, I think, the switch in his head that elevated him to the next level.
Bro, what if, bro? Actually, that sounds like a really good idea. Maybe we should do a show dedicated to what ifs. Like, you know, Marvel What If is on Disney Plus. We should do like a what if show where we just fantasy book the shit out of stuff. What if Apollo Crews was a member of the Hurt Business? Idea, bro.
What if CM Punk didn't leave in 2014?
Oh, idea, bro. go. Let's do it. Hey.
Okay, one of the episodes.
Okay, come already. What if coming your way soon? Okay, back to Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley. Like, you know, okay, when we talk about Seth Rollins and Edge, it's like, okay, that's a match I want to see. I don't really care about the storyline, right? This is the opposite. Like, you need all the mofo storyline in the world to get me to watch this match, because I do not want to watch this match.
That's the thing. I'm actually kind of curious, okay, because, right,
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley is not gonna squash Goldberg, because Goldberg it's not the kind of person that will get squashed, right? And then Goldberg is not gonna squash Bobby Lashley because Bobby Lashley won't allow himself to get squashed. So I'm actually kind of curious. Are they gonna do a 10-minute match then or what?
Good lord, that's 9 minutes too long already. No, I think, you know what? It should be like a Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg match. Like, just put Bobby Lashley over. Like, I don't know, like, they brought in the whole son thing, right? Like, are they gonna have a moment with his son? His son gets involved.
I do not know whether that's the case. Because if Dominic Mysterio can't act, what do you think about Goldberg's son?
Okay lah, he just stand there looking like he's a handsome boy also, so you can put him on screen, you know.
Yeah,
he actually has
quite good looking.
He has heel vibes, to be honest.
Yeah.
A bit of heel, like young YP, he YP, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, as far as we know, and as far as I want this to be, this is a one-off, right? I can't imagine after SummerSlam Goldberg and Bobby Lashley going at it again. It's like, oh, enough, stop. So, where are we going with this? And considering that the main event, John Cena reigns, is the same thing. You have a part-timer versus a full-timer. Like, both these matches are not going to have title switches. As far as, like, if we think about it logically, they shouldn't, right?
Do you know the only way that I will love this match or be interested in this match? So Bobby Lashley has a dominant victory, right? He basically owns Goldberg, right? Puts him over really good, squashes him, and then he comes out on Raw. He says like, I beat the best. There's no one that can beat me. And then, yeah.
Bro. Okay, so what are we setting up for? Because WrestleMania is a ways away. Rumble, Survivor Series main event, Brock versus Bobby.
Maybe. And also for me, right, the contenders on Raw, so-called for Lashley after Goldberg, it has to be Randy. It has to be the Riddle. It's like one of them. I think that's the one that snakes.
Bro, I tell you who. Best Booker of 2021.
Who?
Baron Corbin cashes in on Lashley.
Oh dear gosh.
And he takes the title. Okay, no, I'm kidding.
You know what? Baron Corbin as a wildcard Money in the Bank holder, I think it's interesting. I think it set a lot of potential storylines.
Yeah. And plus Big E is in the mix, so then he can legally sue and then, oh no, it doesn't count, blah, blah, blah. And then you have a whole like 4-way, 3 ways. It works, but no, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I honestly think it's Lashley gets put over. He needs like Goldberg doesn't need to be put over, right? He's not gonna.
Yeah.
But then again, we said that, didn't we say that? And then he versus the Fiend, right? Oh, he's not gonna win, and then he takes the title off the Fiend, and then he holds the title for a while until was it Drew or is it Braun? I forget already.
Braun. He lost it to Braun at WrestleMania.
Yeah. So. With Goldberg, I'm just worried. I'm just worried that he will outstay his welcome.
I think he outstayed the welcome by 5 years already. So I don't know.
Like John Cena, you know that after SummerSlam he's gonna fuck off. He's not going to like stick around. He has other fish to fry in Hollywood, right? He's doing this solely.
Yeah, and now that I have a better appreciation of Lashley, I kind of want him to hold the title as long as possible. I think he deserves it so much.
Yeah, he really, really does. So, yo, Pascal, what's up? How you doing, Irvin? It's good to see you.
Hey, Pascal, somebody from SP, a good guy.
Yes.
Big wrestling fan.
Let's move on then from that to Nikki Ash versus Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Surprising? I'm surprised. I thought by now it would have been Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, but so much for Best Booker of 2021.
You know what? The thing that I like about this storyline is that they are pushing Nikki.
Yes.
So that is a win because I think Nikki deserves it. But if you think about it, Nikki has really the odd stack against her. Like she's fighting two Amazonian women,
And maybe that's the way that she pulls it off. Like maybe make her the underdog, even though she's a champion. Like that's her whole vibe, right? She's the underdog. And even as a champion, she's the underdog.
Yeah, and if you think about it, let me give some credit to Raw. Okay, they built essentially a baby face women champion in Nikki Cross. And ever since she won the Money in the Bank, my fear was that she was going to get overshadowed or like people going to boo her. They didn't like that decision and all that. But I think ever since she won the title, the support for her has actually been building up even more.
Yeah, because they've been putting her as the underdog, almost a superhero, you know. I'm just wondering how long this will last because, you know, at some point it will turn, like you just said, right? Maybe not this month, maybe not next month, soon enough that the crowd will be like, okay, we are done with this superhero character, quote unquote.
Yeah, but I want her to get past this rivalry because there's one person I want her to have a longer feud with, and I think it hasn't been paid off enough. They need to put her against this scary ass Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before, right? That's the natural feud. They have history. They were best friends. They were tag team champions. And then, and the less we talk about, I hate that I'm saying this, but the less we talk about Alexa Bliss, the better. Because right now, like, it's embarrassing. I feel like, you know, there's this meme. I don't know who shared it, but I saw it on Instagram. It was a picture of Lily. And then the caption was something along the lines of, like, if you're embarrassed to tell your friends that you're a fan of WWE, and it's like Lily.
Yeah, her winking on Raw was the lowest point of my wrestling watching career.
It's just not working right now, you know.
Yeah, especially all the what's the opposite of goodwill, bro?
Bad will, bad karma, I guess.
I don't know, but like with whatever's happening with the Fiend and how she was fired and Bray Wyatt, I think it's actually it's unfair to Alexa Bliss because I think Alexa Bliss is doing a great job with the character, trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, right?
Yeah, yeah. Right now, she's not Bray Wyatt. This is not playing to her strength. Her strength is being the goddess, the mean, beep, Alexa Bliss, right?
Yeah. So you see, right? Okay. I don't know whether it's your opinion. I mean, do you watch Suicide Squad recently?
Yeah, I did. Brilliant movie, by the way. They had fun with it. It felt like a proper superhero / villain movie where it was just, they didn't take themselves seriously. Yeah.
The thing I wanted to make that comparison was because Harley Quinn, right? I think Harley Quinn is at her best when she had the Joker to act opposite of whether she's being like the toxic lover who's like obsessed or like she's hating him or whatever it is. But like when they put her, that if you watch the movie, he had like a new so-called love interest, but he wanted to learn from the red flags, blah 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 kind of thing. But like it's still a hollow echo of the magnetic presence of the Joker. So I feel like if Harley Quinn didn't have that storyline, she's kind of, in my opinion, not that compelling. Well,
to be fair, the new Suicide Squad was more about all the other characters as well. You know, like James Gunn, if there's anything that he does well, is he can put together a group of, like what he did with the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? A bunch of characters you didn't really know about or didn't have a strong connection. They didn't have their own solo movies. And in a short amount of time, tell all their stories. Yeah. So without focusing on one. And I actually, to his credit, and enjoyed the fact that it wasn't the Harley Quinn show. It was about Harley Quinn. She was part of the Suicide Squad, yes, but you had Rick Flag, you had Idris Elba. Oh my God, what's his name?
Deadshot.
Deadshot. Is it Deadshot?
Is it Deadshot?
I don't believe I forgot.
Bloodsport.
Deadshot is Will Smith.
Yeah.
Bloodsport, Deadshot,
right.
Same thing. They are both highly skilled mercenaries. I'm like, wow, damn interchangeables. Yeah.
Okay,
also,
bro.
King Shark. Who is going to be voiced by Samoa Joe in the video games. That's going to be awesome.
Oh, dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, bro. So is this the best John Cena performance on screen that you enjoyed or what?
I didn't see him, bro.
Oh, dear gosh.
All I saw was a chrome toilet seat. No, yeah, it fit him because it's like he doesn't take himself seriously in this one, right? Like, you know how in FF9 and in Bumblebee especially, he had to be this very serious character. But John Cena does the best in his comedic roles where he is just fucking around and just being over the top. And in this case, the character was over the top, so it fit.
But do you know, in my opinion, what elevated him to the next level in this movie?
What?
Like, he was being stupid, he was being like this like nonchalant guy, right?
Yeah.
But then that final fight scene that he had with Rick Flag, when he turned serious and he's like, I'm sorry, I gotta take this thing from him. And he like, okay, for people who never watched, I won't spoil it for you, but I think that changed his how he was perceived, because suddenly he looked like a very scary, evil person.
Well, you see, in that moment, he had only one acting moment. Let's just put it that way. Okay, the rest of the moments he was just fucking around, talking about asshole jokes and stuff like that. You know, and he was just in a way being himself.
Yeah,
And,
I agree.
By the way, you know that he's going to be in his own TV show, right? So Peacemaker is going to have a TV show on HBO Max.
Yeah, very curious to see that. But I know I'm happy for John Cena, and the fact that he is having all these opportunities. And I think I put up a post on our IG story about how the number one movie in the world is Suicide Squad with John Cena, and number two movie in the world is The Rock with Jungle Cruise. I mean, wrestlers in Hollywood just makes us wrestling fans happy. And proud. What can I say?
You know, the thing is though, like I don't know if you know this, but I've been rewatching the old Fast and Furious movies with my wife because she's never watched the first few, right? So I'm now up to Fast and Furious 7.
Oh dear gosh.
And The Rock's acting in the first few, like they were a bit sus. To be fair, like with The Rock, with Cena, they have to have the right roles that fit who they actually are. Then it works.
That's why I say, That's Batista, bro.
Yeah, he is he's a proper actor, right?
Yeah. The only actor, the only celebrity among them that can really act like or like comparable level of like legit actors, I think to me is Batista.
Yeah.
And because Batista is not afraid to take all those like low-key roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, The Rock and Cena are only going for the high-profile roles. Pascal says Cena was great in Cock Blockers. I did not watch that movie. But
Pascal, I love that movie. I think John Cena was great in it. Okay, quick word. John Cena played like the dad of like a teenager who's gonna have a prom, and the kids all want to have sex at her prom, and like he's like being this super overprotective dad who doesn't want her kids to do anything sexual. So I think that was a pretty funny dynamic there.
Like I said, comedic roles work very well for Cena. If it's just straight serious, he's not there yet. I don't think that's the right role for him.
Let's just agree to say, right, okay, like the strengths of all of these actors, right? Batista obviously shines in dramatic roles. He is a legitimate actor. Cena is more of a comedy guy. That's his lane for now. And I think The Rock just excels at just being a over the top, larger than life celebrity.
Okay, let's move on then. By the way, Jason says he enjoys the Bliss Eva Marie Doudrop thing, but because of Doudrop. I feel like I want to enjoy the Doudrop Eva Marie thing, but because it's entangled with the Bliss thing, it's not working for me. Like, I feel like Doudrop and Eva Marie, it's its own story, right? It's like I don't know if this has been done before. It's almost like $1 Million Man and Virgil, like somebody making the other person do all the work, but the bad guy takes the credit. So to have it together with this weird Lily issue, like whatever.
You want to know something that you probably left your mind and you've probably forgotten about it? But where the hell is Shayna Baszler, bro?
Oh yeah, she broke up with Nia Jax, and they've sort of just fallen to the wayside.
After Alexa Bliss and Lily scared the shit out of her, I think she died.
She ran away. Fuck this shit. And what happened to Dana Brooke? Because Mandy Rose is back on NXT. So Dana Brooke,
I saw that.
Did she get released or is she injured?
No, I'm not sure the story of Dana Brooke. And that's the thing. Like, they have a lot of people that they can actually push, but they seem to push the same 3 people.
Oh well. Okay, let's move on then. The next match we want to talk about. Oh wait. Nikki Ash, Charlotte Flair, Rear Ripley, winner.
Nikki Ash.
Okay. Showcase, push her put her over the top as it were. So where do we go from there then? Charlotte Flair versus Rear Ripley again. Charlotte Flair and Nikki Ash.
Alexa Bliss, bro.
Oh, okay. Alexa Bliss, Nikki Ash. Okay, Ken. But wait. Flair not being on the top of the women's division? Are you serious?
Of course. Flair is all elite.
Be fair to Flair. All right, let's move on then to the main event. This one has to be the final match, right?
Okay, yeah, of course.
Has to be, right? Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Let's go.
Can we talk about what they talk about on SmackDown? Their promo segment.
Oh God. Again with the dick jokes, the D, and then the missionary position, and it felt like they were calling each other out in real life a bit.
Yeah, like come on, kid, take the promo home. Your turn. Okay, one thing. Okay, I tell you the things I like about both of them in how they presented themselves. John Cena, I think, brought up a great point about he doesn't need to prove to Roman Reigns. He just needs to hang in there and get that 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and then he would be a 17-time world champion, whereas Roman Reigns is like, all he has to do is 1, 2, 3, and he used the 1, 2, 3 like a million times in the promo.
Yeah, but one thing I like was the way he called out Roman Reigns was how he's been so protected, and everyone acknowledged that he's being pushed and protected. How he almost ruined Seth Rollins. I thought that was a very great line. I think that's the truth.
He drove Dean Ambrose out of the company.
Yeah, and then he did the CM Punk reference, which I always appreciate. And I think what was always been great about John Cena, he knows how to cut people with like very biting truths, like very like, savage.
Do you think like he is kind of going down the CM Punk route of being more real, like, you know, like dropping in hints of breaking kayfabe and like basically saying things that only us internet nerd fans would realize that, hey, wait a minute, he's not just like, you know, cutting him down. He's literally talking about his promo skills and take it home and, you know, like these very industry insider terms.
I don't think so, because the thing about it, he's a company man. So whatever he is spewing, right, he's definitely getting that green light from the creative, right? So I think he's just doing the best. But I do notice that in his later career, he has reached this level where the way he calls out his rivals is by talking real shit about them, like the Undertaker rivalry he had. Remember, he talked about him being on social media, and then I think what Roman Reigns did really well in this promo was he definitely did a better job than 2017. Let's be honest.
No, in 2017 he actually looked like he was embarrassed, like, hey, you are revealing too much about, like, you know, like, are you supposed to say that? But in this one, he's just smiling his way through as if like, you know, him and his freaking bright ass teeth that Cena even brought up. So I think that now at this point, Roman Reigns is at that level where he's believing in himself and he can hang in there with a John Cena. But you're right, like their previous feud, Roman Reigns felt like a small boy with Cena when they were jousting on the mic. But this time they were like literally face to face. So I appreciated that.
One thing I like about the one line that Roman Reigns said was that he admitted talking is not his game. Remember, he said that line. He said like, "This is yours," and he gave the props to John Cena. Like he talked about how John Cena is actually underappreciated. He's done so many things that, you know, he can't do and that kind of stuff. And he said he was happy to like send him packing back to Hollywood. And the line that got me was like, guys, appreciate it, guys. Like, this might be the last time you will see John Cena. That was strong because that's the truth as well.
Well, do you believe the dirt sheets when they say that I can't remember who reported on this, but they were saying like, oh, Roman Reigns doesn't have a script anymore. Like, they don't script his stuff. He just goes out there and, you know, sends it. Where, you know, John Cena also is the same, right? He's at that level where I don't think a writer is writing his shit. He's like, fuck off, you know? Like, I'll just say whatever I want to say. And that's why these promos are happening. And that's why they're compelling.
Yeah, of course. Like, we got to take it back to the Attitude Era. Like, it's not as if they were scripted word for word, but there were scripts. They had storylines to talk about to drive home, right?
But they gave
the bullet points.
But they gave the talent the creative direction to, you know, or leeway rather, to say these points the way they would. But you see, you can trust that to people like veterans like Cena, like your Roman Reigns at this point, right? And your Chris Jericho's. Whereas if you went out there and gave a live mic to Ricochet, I'm sorry I bring him up, but you know, it is what it is. Like, you give him a live mic and have him free ball it, it's like, good luck. He's going to say something and embarrass himself.
I want to mention something that James Gunn said about John Cena. He said that John Cena is the best improv actor that he has directed, which is a great high praise for John Cena. But I believe that he was honed by being in WWE.
Oh yeah, of course, by being live in front of people, hearing their reaction. So he has the knowledge of what will pop a crowd, what will make people laugh, what won't. It's like a stand-up comedian who goes on the road. Before he goes on the road, he is practicing, or rather doing sets at a local club to gauge reaction. Okay, this works, this doesn't work. I have to time this better. So definitely the years in front of a live crowd with a live mic have given John Cena all this practice and experience.
Yeah, I am looking for. Okay, but there was that one. Okay, I'm just curious about how Finn Balor factors into this. Because there was that one week where John Cena wasn't on TV.
Yeah.
And they kind of like did that side quest talking about Finn Balor.
Side
and kind of
quest!
Stuff. But you, a video game reference. But the thing is, Finn Balor, the Prince Finn Balor, not the smiley Finn Balor, the Prince Finn Balor, is not gonna take all that shit lying down, right?
Bro,
He can't.
I said it last week, I'll say it again. He seems like the filler feud that's there when Cena is not. Okay?
Yeah.
So he's just there to make things a bit interesting, give Roman Reigns something to deal with, like you said, a side quest. So when Cena leaves after SummerSlam to go back to his Hollywood stuff or whatever, that's when, you know, okay, you got your Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. So I honestly don't really see him playing a factor in this main event.
I think the best thing that happened for SmackDown, like it made me doubt the outcome a bit.
Okay.
Like, because after the way John Cena talked about the 17 title run, you know WWE is definitely gonna get him to break that. Especially if Ric Flair appears for AEW, right? You know for sure that you think about it. Think about it. If like literally they know that okay, he's gonna go to AEW, why wouldn't WWE wanna like spit in his face and like, you know what, we're gonna give that 17 title, we're gonna pull the trigger right now.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a swerve because everyone's expecting Roman Reigns to retain, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's expecting John Cena to go back to Hollywood, but what if he really wins the Universal title?
See,
Then
I love that you brought that up because I didn't consider the whole spit in the face. Not really spit in the face lah, but you know what I mean. And they've done petty shit.
WWE
Like,
does.
yeah, that's the stuff that they do. They've done it so many
All the
times,
time, yeah.
right? Yeah, to take away that most title reigns away from Rick. So okay, now you have John Cena staying for a while, or maybe he can't stay for a while, and therefore you know what needs to happen. Baron Corbin cashes in Money in the Bank, baby.
You're right. We got to consider these factors. We got to consider Baron Corbin, Big E, technically, even Finn Balor. Like all of this, it might be a smosh, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe, okay, but I personally want to see a one-on-one match with a clear winner. But if they want to smosh it, and maybe they pay it off down the line in the future, maybe even WrestleMania, I'm still open to it as well.
It could be a post-match schmoz. Like John Cena beats Roman Reigns clean, right? Has his 17th title reign, and then Baron Corbin comes out. Or maybe Finn Balor gets in his face. They start fighting, and then Baron Corbin comes out, and then Big E comes out, and then it's a big mess of shit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be possible. But the thing is, what makes this exciting is I'm looking forward to the match. Like it doesn't really matter who wins,
bro.
Like I won't be annoyed if either one doesn't win the title.
The possibilities are all there, but you know this match is going to be it's not going to be a technical classic. Okay, you got John Cena and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns will ASMR half the match. John Cena will play the crowd half the match. So 90% of the match will be crowd interaction. That's what's going to happen.
I wouldn't be surprised, but you know what? It's the biggest main event on SummerSlam that WWE has had in a long time. It's gonna be in a big, huge ass stadium.
Yeah,
it's supposedly the WrestleMania of this year. So definitely a lot of pageantry that I'm looking forward to. And for me, because I'm also a football fan, and when I saw fans in the stadiums over this past weekend of football matches, oh my god, the atmosphere is so much better, and I can't wait for WWE to have that.
What Delta variant? What Lambda variant, bro?
Pandemic later. Okay, celebrate, watch wrestling first.
Yeah. Nashwan, what's up? Nashwan asked, did we watch New Japan's USA show? NJPW USA. They had a pay-per-view, is it? An event. Is it the one where what's his face? John Moxley?
Jay White.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, Jay White had that match with
is it
one of the Bullet Club people, right?
Okay, obviously we didn't watch.
No. Yeah, we didn't watch. That's one. Please fill us up. Anything interesting from that event that you want to share?
Yeah. Hidayat says, here's a what if. What if John Cena did not win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania many years ago? Wow, there could be so many what ifs. What if, NWO didn't happen? What if Hulk Hogan didn't jump ship? Anyway. but we are getting ahead of ourselves, aren't we?
We will do that episode. I think you guys might be interested. So, and probably we should put up a poll or like a question poll on our Instagram and give us what if topics to talk about, and we'll probably talk about it.
It would have to be one of those like huge moments in wrestling history that not just changed that one person's career, but changed the entire state of the wrestling universe. Like without Stone Cold becoming Stone Cold, there would be no Attitude Era, right? Or without, actually, you know, if you backtrack a bit, if it weren't for Hulk Hogan becoming the third member of NWO, there would have been no Attitude Era, right? Because NWO was the one that ushered in this whole idea of chaos, blurring the lines, that kind of stuff. So
if Montreal Screwjob didn't happen, then I think there won't be the Mr. McMahon character being born. In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, Stone Cold would still have risen to the top because talent will always rise, right? But it wouldn't have been quite as compelling because he wouldn't have had that evil boss guy.
Yeah.
Basically, they made a new belt because the previous one was too big. Ospreay returned with another IWGP Heavyweight Championship belt. Interesting. What if all the WCW roster was available during the invasion? Wow, all the topics coming in hard and fast, yeah. Fast and furious. What if Taker lost his first Mania match? Tanahashi won the US title as well. Okay, there you go.
Oh, so Tanahashi had a match with Lance Archer, right?
Lance Archer, yeah.
Okay.
Don't really care. Anyway, so
Mister Young is not a New Japan fan.
No, there's too much wrestling to watch already. Let's move on then. We just talked about SummerSlam. What is upon 10 as far as hype is concerned? How hyped are you for SummerSlam? Go.
I would say it's an 8, but first dance Rampage is a 9.
Oh God. See, I don't share the same feeling that you have for CM Punk or Daniel Bryan, because like we talked about, right? I stopped watching during that era, so I don't have that connection there. So, but I get it.
Maybe it's a chance for CM Punk to win you over if he does come to AEW. If he's really firing on all cylinders, he's really the CM Punk we remember in his promos are awesome, then he might be a chance to win you over. So we do not know.
Sure, but I put it to you this way: he might have been the first in that era to like break the fourth wall and talk very insider talk. But now everyone does it. So what will make him special? We'll have to see lah. If in 2021 he's still relevant, because back then he was doing things that was new, right? Talking about the business from a insider, like, you know, breaking kayfabe lah. He was one of the first few. That's what made him so like, oh, he's so edgy. But now everybody does it. The Young Bucks do it all the time. And if he shows up in a company that's known for doing that shit, he's not going to be special. So, yeah. But I mean, we've had that conversation before. We don't need to revisit that. Let's instead move on to NXT TakeOver before we talk about the death of NXT. And this, okay, guys.
It's all connected in my opinion.
Yeah. This might just be the NXT to watch. As in, I feel like if they're going to go out on a high, and they might just overperform to the best of their abilities, and then like a swan song.
The comparison that I have for this NXT TakeOver card, right, bro? This is like the WrestleMania 17 card for NXT. It is their end of the Attitude Era. It's like the end of this NXT era. So, and when you talk about going out with a bang, bro, just look at the card. Just look at how stacked it is, in my opinion.
Well, okay, right now I'm looking at the card. There are 5 matches. Do they have space for maybe one more at some point? We'll have to see, right? But I'm sure they'll announce something.
I got 2 matches that I'm looking forward to, my opinion. I want to see is it Walter versus Dragunov again?
Walter versus Ilya Dragunov. So that's a match
Part 2.
Yeah, they've had amazing matches. Originally the first one was on NXT UK, right? Was it?
Yes, correct. That was the one. It was during the pandemic.
Yeah, and it was an amazing, like, brutal match. I'm just a bit worried that the US fans aren't that familiar with Ilya Dragunov's work, because obviously he's been showcased in NXT UK way more, right? When he showed up on NXT, the reaction I got was like, it's like, oh, okay. It's like, if you know, then you know. But if you don't know, you'll be like, who is this guy?
He's the kind of guy, I think, I didn't know him prior to that match with Walter, to be honest, to be fair. But he won me over the course of that match. So he's probably that kind of guy that will make a star-making performance.
Yeah, but not
NXT.
But not through a promo. Certainly not through a promo. He's the kind of guy, he almost not Spike Dudley lah. Who else? I don't know who else to compare him to.
No, I get what you mean because of his size, but
Yeah.
in terms of how he want to carry himself, he a bit got, in my opinion, a bit more Chris Benoit vibes.
Chris Benoit.
If Chris Benoit was Russian lah.
I would say Daniel Bryan vibes.
But Daniel Bryan doesn't have his kind of intensity and like
True.
savagery.
True. So who else? Okay, I guess Chris Benoit. Yeah, could be it. But
Yeah.
I never really like, because Ilya Dragunov, right? Half the time he's taking punishment and in a horrible way. So like Chris Benoit was dishing out the punishment most of the time. So like,
Yeah, and also Walter, the way Walter is, right? It's like a bit of a Thanos kind of character.
so it's like Thanos versus Captain America. Captain America who will not back down, and Thanos who will just keep pounding on him. So you feel bad and you want to cheer him on.
But the thing is, I kind of vibe with Ilya because he has that rabbit intensity. That's why I compare it to Chris Benoit. He's almost like Wolverine, you know? Like he gets beaten down, but he doesn't give a shit. Like he keeps coming back. So that's my vibe of him.
So yeah, first match, I guess. And you know what? I think this match could be kicking off the show because I feel like it has the potential to really like, you know, hype the crowd up, right? Walter versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT UK Championship.
Yeah, especially it's a title difference. And of course, you have to take note the fact that Walter has been champion for so long. Could this be a change? Could this be a new champion? So that's there on the line as well.
I think it would be a huge swerve if Walter didn't win. I feel like Ilya, they've been building, especially on your NXT UK, building him up after that first, you know, match, which was so critically acclaimed, right?
Yeah.
That it could be Ilya Dragunov's time, and to do it on a takeover like this, you know, just kick off the show, like set a very high bar lah. So I think this will be the first match, and I think Ilya will win.
Yeah, and of course, Walter, if he drops the title, doesn't mean he's going to fall to the wayside. Obviously, that might mean he might go to NXT, the main show. I'm waiting for Walter to, I think, get a bigger rub.
Imperium, yeah, and he has his 2 Imperium stablemates here, and then he can do his thing, you know? Let's move on then. LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes for the $1 million championship. If Cameron Grimes loses, Ted DiBiase will become LA Knight's butler.
What's your thoughts on this match? Is it needed, in your opinion?
Oh yeah, I mean, there needs to be a blow-off, obviously, right? And if this is the point to blow it off, I don't see Ted DiBiase coming back to become LA Knight's butler. I really don't.
So Cameron Grimes winning and getting the $1 million championship this time around.
Yeah, but like we talked about lah, he doesn't really need the belt. And if you take the belt off of LA Knight so fast, it's like, okay, you're kind of killing LA Knight's vibe as well, right?
I have a very interesting proposition.
Okay.
What if, right, bro, instead of them feuding, they really come together and they form a new version of Money Inc. Remember Money Inc?
The hell? Yeah, $1 Million Man and IRS.
Think about it, because I feel like, right, they have nothing better to do. If they end the feud, right, obviously Cameron Grimes is gonna do great, but LA Knight is just gonna fall by the wayside. Why not keep them together? Have the so-called Ted DiBiase, just saying, being a butler or whatever it is, and then they form like so-called like a faction where it's like a money-related faction, and they go for the tag team titles.
Wow. Interesting ideas. But the thing is, they've been positioning Cameron Grimes as this like good guy, you know. So I don't know if they would be a heel faction or a face faction.
I would say still keep that dynamic, like that he doesn't like LA Knight. He's forced into it. But they form a tag team and he's kind of winning titles against. It's like a Virgil situation lah.
No, but it doesn't really work now because the way the storyline has been progressing is like Ted DiBiase keeps telling Cameron Grimes, oh no, you can, you know, you're better than this, you know, you're a good man, blah, 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 you should challenge him. Unless Ted DiBiase turns up and he's like, oh, actually, I've been working with LA Knight this whole time. And, you know.
That's a great possibility as well. I believe that. But the thing about the Money Inc. kind of attracts me so much because I feel like they all look good together as a package, even though they are opposing foes.
The problem is with that though, it erases all of Cameron Grimes' character growth in the past few weeks. If you were to have him, even if it's to tag with LA Knight in a begrudging way, like, because it doesn't make sense, right? Like LA Knight left Cameron Grimes out to dry several times and they lost the match versus the grizzled young veterans. So it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like if they won that match begrudgingly, okay, then it makes sense. But it just hasn't been written like that. You know?
Well, I guess so. It depends on what the direction that they want to go after. It's just that for me, the hype for this rivalry kind of died down from the previous NXT.
Yeah. Because, you know, LA Knight lah, like we've talked about lah. He has everything, but for whatever reason, it's not working. You know? Muhammad Gaddafi, how you doing, man? He says,
hello.
Hey guys, finally got to watch it live. We are happy to have you here. Thank you so much for dropping by. And of course, if you missed anything, you can always check out the video on demand or listen to the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So
today a bit more followers or listeners than usual.
You know,
thanks guys for joining.
Everyone chilling out at work, lepak in, not actually doing work, but we appreciate that. LA Knight, Cameron Grimes, who wins? It's a tough one.
Based on my storyline that I'm trying to push for, I would say LA Knight.
Okay, I think this is the blow-off. I think this is a very straightforward storyline. Unfortunately, Cameron Grimes gets the win. Ted DiBiase hugs him. You know, like, oh, he finally gets his just desserts, as in, you know, he's been a good guy, and they split, go their separate ways. That's what I think.
Okay, I mean, let's see what happens, man.
Let's move on then. Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. To me, this one is quite a no-brainer lah. Like, they're not putting the title on Dakota Kai.
Raquel retaining lah.
Yeah, in almost dominant fashion, I would have to say.
And something happened on NXT that kind of like made me feel like scratching. Like I wanted to scratch my head. Like, why did they make Dakota Kai lose? Didn't she lose?
No. She beat Saray. No, okay. So Saray was originally supposed to have fought Ember Moon, but then like Saray is someone new. And they're pushing her, right? And they had her lose to Dakota Kai. So that got me scratching my head now that you brought it up last week.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Right? So it's like, okay, you couldn't find somebody else for Saray to squash. So you killed Saray's momentum and you gave her a fight with Dakota Kai, and the two of them have zero history whatsoever. So I'm like, I didn't get that at all. Very weird.
They kind of like ended her momentum just to serve their own storyline.
Yeah.
In a weird way. And Dakota Kai, something about her that I start to realize, right, is that she got a bit of this she has this trying to be like Bailey kind of heel. But it's the start of Bailey being a heel. When she hasn't really mastered it.
Yeah.
But I think she has been a heel for a year plus already, right, with Raquel.
Yeah.
So, you can tell why she's still on NXT lah. Let's put it that way lah.
Dakota Kai feels more like an X-Pac than a Shawn Michaels.
Wow. Strong words there.
I'll leave it as that. Like, you know, that's why I don't think she's gonna even come close here. Raquel, you know, just to push Raquel further up the card lah, or rather up the totem pole. She dominates, and that's it. We move on. So I'm actually looking at this card, and I'm not say upset, but I'm disappointed that the women are not very well represented here, because Raquel versus Dakota Kai is not like a whoa match, you know.
But the thing is, Raquel has kind of gone through a lot of the wrestlers. She can't go back to Io Shirai so soon.
True.
Who else is ready to challenge Raquel though? Think about it.
It's a really weird time for the women's division NXT, huh? Don't you think? Like,
because usually there's always great challenges, right?
Yeah. Now it's sort of fallen off the wagon a little bit. Like, because Zoe Starks and Io Shirai are doing their tag team thing, hanging out and doing vignettes instead of wrestling matches. Who else? We have a bunch of new ones. I forgot the one with the really bright orange hair, but she's way too new.
Gigi Doblin.
Yeah. So they're obviously pushing some new talent as well.
Do you know that she's the ex-wife of Darby Allin?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tian Sha just like died.
Right?
What's her face? Spit white mist. If you remember.
Oh,
Maylin, yeah, spit white mist. Ooh, okay, yeah. But that still feels like a lower mid card feud.
Who's the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions now?
It's Zoe Starks and Io Shirai. They're doing the odd couple routine right now. And who's the challenger? Nobody.
Do you feel like for some reason, okay, maybe that's why they're pushing new stars, but like NXT's women division a bit underrepresented, like not a lot of star power.
He got raided and like completely, left out to dry. Like, you had Shotzi Blackheart could have been, Tegan Knox could have been up there, but no, they got poached over by SmackDown. What are they doing on SmackDown? Nothing!
Oh dear gosh. If we split it very softly, but is AEW's women division much more
No.
entertaining
Okay,
right now?
let's not get crazy over here. All right, let's not let's not jump the gun here. They are getting there, but NXT. I think because they got raided for the main roster took too many of the stars. Now they are rebuilding, and this is a problem we'll see with NXT over and over again, right? They have to rebuild every time superstars are quote unquote ready for the main roster. Let's move on then before we get to today's topic of the death of NXT. Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. Okay, this is not for the title, so this shouldn't be for the main event, but it is a 2 out of 3 falls match. I miss these stipulations, by the way. I was hoping for a little bit more, but it is what it is. So, okay, they announced Fall 1 is a singles match. Fall 2 is a street fight. And Fall 3, steel cage match. Did it seem a bit underwhelming to you?
It is underwhelming, but I would counter by saying that I like that the stipulation is more of like a background window dressing to the story.
Yep.
Like I kind of felt like because of that, because the stipulation wasn't so like, oh my god, amazing, like we won't be distracted. I think they really want to focus on the story that's being told.
So okay, I guess I go back to the times of like, first fall pin, second fall submission, third fall is Hell in a Cell or some bullshit like that, like they've gone overboard with before. Like which was the one, right? Remember, was it Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole? They also had a 2 out of 3 falls, and the last one was
Gargano and Ciampa.
Was it Ciampa? The last
I
fall
believe so.
was like some freaking cage match with weapons and shit.
Oh, I can't remember. But the one that I remember was Ciampa and Gargano. But I don't know.
So yeah, to be honest though, I'm kind of done with this feud only because of Kyle O'Reilly and his lack of being interesting. I hate that. I said
dear
that.
God. Okay. And because of all the contract rumors that Adam Cole might be called up to the main roster, being offered $1 million contract, you know that one way or another, this feud is going to be the end all be all. They're going to go in separate directions after this.
Yeah, but okay, like, with the feuds we mentioned earlier, right? With Gargano, Ciampa, Gargano, Cole, like you had two very, very high level professionals in that they are very good on the mic and they're good in the ring. So it always made those matches compelling. Kyle O'Reilly has not been compelling.
I know what's the problem. Yeah, you're right. But the thing is, Kyle O'Reilly will never be a charisma guy, in my opinion.
Yeah, so it's always going to work against him, lor?
Yeah, that was going to be the thing that will blight his career.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they're going to push him to be the number one guy, they better do something to like, is he going to be the one challenging Samoa Joe after this? I do not know. But it's not an interesting matchup, in my opinion.
Bro, Kyle O'Reilly would get absolutely destroyed. Not in he's a big guy versus a small guy, but on the mic.
I know why.
Yeah.
Yes, on the mic.
Like Samoa Joe will probably just in a second make him look like absolute nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
Kyle.
I think I know what's the problem with this match. The problem with this match is, we know Adam Cole is a bigger star and definitely looks like more of a star than Kyle O'Reilly, but they are pushing Kyle O'Reilly to win to get the Adam Cole rub.
So here's hoping that it works and then he succeeds just based off of his performance here. And the respect factor will always be there. It's just that can be star or not. I say tough.
Yeah, because right now he's giving me a bit of Dean Malenko vibes.
A little, yeah, I know what it's like. Oh dear God, I'm so sorry. The respect is there, right? But you're like main event, probably not even for NXT, And what else is there to say? I feel like there's not even much else to say about this match other than it's going to be a good match for sure. But it's like okay, nothing else much.
And we know the results kind of speak for itself. You know for a fact Adam Cole's gonna leave.
Bro,
whether it's NXT or AEW doesn't matter.
The return of Bobby Fish. Even if he did return, I don't care. or what's the other guy? I forgot the other guy's name. Roderick Strong. Who they lost a member of the Diamond Mine. Maybe You know, he can recruit Kyle. Anyway, whatever. No, they should just stay away.
Let's talk about the main event. That's
The
where I'm
main
going for,
event.
man.
Okay, Karrion Kross, who is just as cold can be right now. I'm sorry. You know, they tried to build him. Scarlett don't know went where. All of a sudden, he's by himself. He's losing on Raw. You know, he has no momentum versus Samoa Joe, who everyone wants to see come back.
Yeah. Do you feel like this main event is almost like a given?
Yeah, and it unfortunately feels very lackluster as a main event. Like, I'm not excited. And just looking at the card based on what we've talked about, right? Like, this is one of the weaker cards.
Well, at the start, I say why it was stacked. It's not because it was like star power, you know.
Yeah.
I feel it's stacked because I feel like
Workers.
not say workers, like the result, right, of this is gonna change everything after this. Like, it's not
Sure.
gonna be like, because we as why we're gonna be talking about the death of NXT. Like, I feel like this is the last time we'll probably see this version of NXT. So it's gonna be like significant in terms of a historical sense.
Sure.
Yeah, and if what better way, in my opinion, to like wrap it up by having Samoa Joe being the first 3-time champion.
Yeah. And let's face it, we know that Karrion Kross is going to transition over to Raw, right? So why have him, unless they want to swerve us by having him retain, and then on the next NXT he loses, or some weeks down the line then he loses, just to swerve, because they've done that before, right? Like, so and so is going to go to the main roster, but they purposely swerve at the takeover, like they retain.
Yeah, the thing is, Samoa Joe becoming the champion, is it that WWE trying to go back to like NXT as the developmental?
Which is, the start of our next conversation, you know, in a way.
And basically, are they relegating Samoa Joe to that veteran in the developmental scene to put over new talent?
Well,
Seems like it.
It does certainly seem like it, right? So, okay, I think we both agree that Karrion Kross loses here, and, well, he moves on to Raw and has a shit feud with Keith Lee or Jeff Hardy or whoever the hell it is. They want him to have a shit feud with. Oh, no.
All right, so let's talk about our last topic of the day, guys.
Yes, transitioning from that to what a lot of people have said that it will be, well, marks the end of an era for NXT. If you look at the dirt sheets, the rumors and everything, right? And the recent releases, you know, okay, I'm going to put on my corporate hat. I am a member of the corporation. I'm in Vince McMahon's boardroom right now, and I'm going to argue for, okay, what they've been talking about. And in a way, I've seen this happen so many times in the media industry, because I have been doing this for about 20 years, right? And I've seen this happen many, many times, in that you give somebody the leeway to be creative, i.e. Vince McMahon gave Triple H, all right, go ahead, be creative with this project called NXT, right? This developmental territory, which is what NXT started out as, the developmental territory, a feeder system to train young talent to become stars one day on WWE main roster. So, here, you go and run with it. And then, at some point, the little developmental territory, we give you this side project, becomes arguably more popular than the main product. And these people in the boardroom are like, maybe we shouldn't have them eclipse us. It makes us look bad. Maybe we shouldn't be paying out all these contracts to these indie guys who will never have loyalty to the company. This is like harkening back to the old power plant days and whatnot, where, you know, if you groom them yourself, they might be more loyal to you, right? So why are we paying your Bobby Fishers and whoever who will, at the drop of a hat, jump over the AEW? You know what I mean? So why?
Yeah.
Why are we doing that? So let's pull the plug on your little project. And if I know corporate fucks, if I know corporate old-timey people, like I know them based on experience. Sure. I know they hate it when side projects get bigger than what they're doing. I know their insight is like how dare you be more successful than what we've done? And so let's pull the plug and let's make the focus about the main project, which is Raw and SmackDown. So I feel in a way that is what they're trying to do. It's like, okay, you had your fun. We can't have you being more popular. Like, I've had that I don't want to bring up examples, but I've had that happen so many times where I've seen side projects that were given a little bit of a okay, get kiboshed, get squashed because you're getting too much traction already. It's like, but it brings eyeballs to the product. No, cannot. Still cannot.
I think this kind of backwards thinking is what makes any industry, not just wrestling industry, like they can't develop, they can't flourish. It's because, I believe in, not say capitalism lah, but I believe in a competitive free market.
Yeah.
Okay. So if for example, if McDonald's is going to be the only fast food in town and they're going to shut down every other fast food, even the small ones, the mom and pop shops, there won't be creativity.
Yeah.
No offense, but if Disney is going to own every single creative content in the world, it's going to have the Disney tone to it, right? The Disney branding.
Yeah.
Then there's no opportunity for creativity. There's no opportunity for content creators to create stuff that makes it exciting. And I think, to me, the world is a tapestry. The world is variety. It's like what do you call it? In India? There's putpuri. There's roja. You need variety. Variety is the spice of life, right?
Yeah.
And instead of them, if they were very secure in themselves, instead of them being threatened that NXT is doing well, they should have pushed Raw and SmackDown to even be better, and that creates an overall much more compelling product, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. You see, in a corporate old fogies mindset, it's like, this is our own brand. Why are we having these young fucks eclipsing us? So to me, it stinks like an ego thing, and they can argue it however they want. Irvin brings up a point that Tom Pritchard said, that a lot of the pops for the indie guys are not real, because indie fans will pop no matter what, right? But when they appear on mainstream shows, they don't know how to get over. That, is a legitimate point, I feel. But if you're good, given the time and exposure, you will be able to get over.
I believe what NXT is trying to do now, based on the reports, right, is they want to go back to more of OVW, FCW system.
A developmental lah.
Yeah, they get to groom their own stars. And I also always question Triple H's strategy in buying out all this indie talent, because essentially what he did was he made a super indie show. Yeah. But it goes against, and like you said, if you want to argue it, to be fair, the devil's advocate, right? It argues against the whole point of NXT, which was with developmental talent. So if the NXT brand needs a NXT feeder system to feed the NXT brand, then it kind of defeats the point of NXT. So I see where they're coming from.
Yeah, in a way, he did too much and it succeeded. He did too much for his own good lah, and he made it too quote unquote good and competitive as a show, when what they really wanted was a feeder system, which is why you see the rumors okay, no more hiring of indie talents by and large, no more older veterans, over 30-year-olds. Yeah, no more over 30-year-olds, no more small guys. We want to groom. So okay, what this just means, and I mean, it could be argued that you're bringing these indie talents for the young guys to work with, so that they can learn something from them, right? Learn the style, whatever, get different looks, be more unique, so that they aren't all they all don't wrestle the same freaking way, which would make for a very boring product in the future. But at the same time too, it makes sense. It's why are you paying all these guys who have arguably zero loyalty, who might just show up next week on AEW or Impact or whatever?
And also, if you think about it, one of the directors that they said they want to have ready-made WrestleMania stars that can main event and be box office attractions in the next 20 years, right? And say, for example, if The Rock went through the current system right now, right? The Rock is not going to be a super indie rate worker guy, but he got the presence. So if I want to use an example, they will push a Karrion Kross definitely over Bobby Fish or a Kyle O'Reilly, because Karrion Kross, for better or for worse, does have that so-called look, right?
Yeah. So are we going back to the era of the Hoss?
If you think about the talents that they've signed recently, and I was mentioning it when you saw the contract signing, and I brought out the fact that Traxxas was Sean Tan was on the lineup, right? But the rest of the bodyguards, if you look closely, there was Parker Bordeaux, the one that they said was going to be the next Brock Lesnar. There was Rick Steiner's son, who is an NFL player, big size, legitimate college athletes. And maybe that's what they're doing now. They're recruiting all these athletes straight out of college with the size, with the ability to get molded. And yes, they might not be super indie worker. They can't do all the crazy stuff and all that kind of shit, but they can work the WWE style, which is what they want all along.
Yeah. So are we gonna then say goodbye to your, like we mentioned, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick, basically the entire Undisputed Era? Because their upside is not there. They're not going to go to the main event and Raw, SmackDown, and make waves. I don't think, right?
Yeah. NXT is great when it has a lot of variety.
Yeah.
Like I want to have one time got DIY, but then got one time got Revival, and then got American Alpha, and then got Viking Raiders.
Yeah. My biggest worry right now is that going back, right? Like, okay, is their TV deal up? Because this shit is going to be on USA for 2 hours as well. They can't forget that, right? Or are they going to replace NXT with another main roster show? I don't know. It doesn't make sense that now for a developmental show on TV, because then you're just going to make everybody look bad. So you're going to have a bunch of green guys all the time. Cannot be
what I really hope they scrap this whole USA Network experiment, bring them back to the WWE Network, make it a 1 hour show. Go back to the basics of what made NXT compelling. Because even though NXT was so-called developmental like 5 years ago, right? The day-to-day or week-to-week show was very interesting.
Yeah, but it was only interesting because they brought in indie talent. They were like, your Finn Balor's and then Samoa Joe. In a way, at that time, you could consider Samoa Joe like a journeyman indie guy, right? Who else? Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Those were top indie guys. So if the idea is that, okay, no more indie guys, we'll just I'm sure they'll keep like Tommaso Ciampa. I feel like Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, they're like lifers. They're like the veteran indie guys who are going to be there to be quote unquote trainers, right? Samoa Joe.
One thing I like about the old NXT before the crazy stars that came in, right? They had Sami Zayn and they had Adrian Neville fighting for the NXT championship, right? Like, did you know that the reason why they kept Sami Zayn was not because he was an indie work rate guy, it was because he had personality.
Yeah.
So I feel they're trying to cut through all the mediocrity of everyone looking like the same indie guy,
right?
And they want to find like, okay, they out of like 10 super indie talent, they only want to get 2 people. Who is like looks like the typical indie look, and then like 8 other people who is like one time NFL guy, one time bodybuilder, one time whatever it is. And I don't know whether that strategy will work, but the 100% indie, I think also a bit passé lah, if you think about it.
That's AEW lah. So they don't want to be AEW essentially. Jason says USA is not happy with the change of direction. Yeah, I can see it because, like I said, now you're going to get a show arguably with lesser quality because you have lesser amounts of talent that have been on the road who know how to work really awesome, amazing matches lah. Irvin also says a lot of his non-hardcore wrestling fans find that size is very important. Yeah, it's the visual, right? Like I say, if Adam Cole walked into the room, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's just a guy.
Yeah, but if Bobby Lashley walked into the room,
whoa, like, you'd be scared.
You'd be scared, right?
Irvin brings up a very good point here as well. The real non-indie success for NXT were the 4 horsewomen.
Homegrown, right?
Yeah. So I guess they are trying to go for like all homegrown or 90% homegrown as opposed to bringing in indie talent here and there, that kind of vibe.
But that's the thing, like I always go back to the class of 2002 and talk about OVW, right? OVW is technically like super developmental, but they had, when you saw that 1% that they had, a Brock Lesnar, like, okay, this guy's gonna be a star in 20 years time. I think that's what, and unfortunately it's a look thing lah. Like Vince McMahon is gonna want to have to look at these talents and see like, okay, I want to know what's his appeal. Like, I want to know how is he going to be able to sell my company in the next 20 years. And maybe that's the problem with the Fiend.
Oh, okay. Right. And ultimate... Sorry, go ahead.
As much as the Fiend kept pushing, and I think the reason why he was mismanaged was maybe Vince McMahon never got him.
Right.
It was, like how he never got Aleister Black.
It was too over his head lah, as it were. Like, what? I guess. Or maybe their contracts were just too expensive. It could really just be down to a money thing. For whatever reason, it seems like a lot of these decisions have been a money thing with Nick Khan and everything. And well, whether or not he wants to sell the company or not, right? Just to make the books look nicer, do a bit of spring cleaning. All right, Triple H, we've given you enough leeway. It's time to rein it in. And we go back to the fact that NXT is supposed to have been a developmental, not an indie show.
Yeah.
Not a indie show on TV like AEW. So, I mean, it is the end of an era for NXT. I think the quality will drop for sure. You're gonna get a lot more boas, a lot more. I don't know why we always bring up Boa, but he is the ultimate example of like green AF, still green.
Yeah.
You know, weird, awkward matches, and just like not ready for TV type talent. But on TV.
If you wanna put a bow on it, right? Do you think that for the long-term future of WWE is the better move?
Ooh, better mover. It's hard to say, to be honest. Like, can we truly honestly say that this era of NXT has done very good things for Raw and SmackDown? Or has it just done good things for NXT as a product in itself, right? You know? It's almost as if Triple H is like, all right, I'm going to make this product really, really awesome. But does it help Raw and SmackDown? I mean, you could argue no, because Keith Lee went up, Karrion Kross went up. What about the other call-ups that just haven't worked out? Like the Street Profits, the Viking Raiders, they've all gone up to the main, roster, and they've just been there mid-card, sort of like, man.
I think the problem with NXT was that there wasn't a assimilation process from NXT to Raw and SmackDown, because how it was done back in the day was developmental was not seen by a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So they can try whatever shit that they want.
Yeah.
But then once they come on Raw and SmackDown, they're gonna be the WWE package. Technically, the Shield is that, okay? If you think about it, bro.
Yeah.
If the Shield came in with their indie characters in FCW, they wouldn't work, right?
Nope.
But because it was done in a very contained environment, not a lot of people saw it. They could have like a fresh start on the main roster as the Shield.
Yeah.
But now the problem is the so-called development where they're trying out the characters and all that is being shown to a huge audience.
Yeah.
So it's like, what if the Shield was debuting right now in 2019? Everyone will shit on it. Will be like, hey, why you put these guys in these 3 vests?
Yeah.
I want my John Moxley and I want my Seth Rollins doing his super emo smoshing shit.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns looking like a leaky, like a warrior, like. So I kind of see the problem lah in that sense.
The issue here right now is that NXT is on TV and it has a proper show where everyone can watch. It would make no sense, right? Like how it doesn't make any sense right now that Karrion Kross is walking around with the NXT Championship and on Raw, or the fact that they've removed Charlotte Flair's NXT reigns from her quote-unquote record. So yeah, it's obviously they want to go back in that direction. It's just that it sucks for us NXT fans who have grown to really enjoy their content, their storylines and stuff like that. Oh, now they're going backwards. Now this is really going to be a place. And maybe you have wrestlers like, like a Drew McIntyre. When he first returned, he spent a bit of time on NXT just to refine his Drew McIntyre character before re-debuting, right? So I think we might see more of that, in that maybe wrestlers who had been injured for a long time, maybe they'll come back, or returning wrestlers just showing up in NXT for a short period before they go on to the main event, because those were already destined for the main event. It's just they just need a bit of time to adjust.
You know who benefits most?
Who?
Clearly AEW lah.
Oh,
they will get all the NXT fans that is heartbroken lah.
Yeah, they will. Depending on who they sign also. But then you have an issue where AEW is now like, bursting at the seams with talent and nobody can rise to the top because everyone needs a spot,
Yeah. Well, we shall see what happens, and I hope that at the end of the day, it benefits WWE as a whole. I think that's most important.
I mean, and at the end of the day, right, if somebody is getting ultra over, you can always buy them back over what? From AEW or the other way. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's all about the money, and you give them the creative freedom, they will jump over.
Yeah, and I think that's the point. I think WWE should not try to monopolize the industry. Let them be free. Let them do their thing. And then treat the wrestlers as independent contractors.
Yeah, that's what I feel like it is too. Like right now, Vince is like, oh, okay lah. Even if we fire these people, they'll jump over to AEW, right? So it's like almost like a weight off the conscience. Like I don't have to worry about them so much now. There's an AEW for them
now
to go
got
to.
Someone to take care of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So in a way, I don't know if he really thinks about it like that lah. But in a way, it's like okay, feel free to clean house a bit. Yeah. Irvin says he read somewhere that they needed to cut talent expense from 110 million to 75 million. Boom, makes sense. Bobby Fish wasn't lighting NXT on fire.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
the fact that they fired really like almost 100 people in the last 2 years, I think kind of explains what they're trying to do. I rather, okay, you have a small team, but be able to work and make everyone a star in that team as opposed to a whole bunch of fillers. So I don't really mind that in a sense, but it's just like they cut the wrong people.
Well, I mean, okay, Bronson Reed, you consider the wrong person? To be honest, he was the biggest name in the latest round of cuts, but it's like, okay, well, Bronson Reed, wasn't really regretting that.
But they kept Drake Maverick, so like, you know what I mean?
But
like,
okay, if I'm Drake Maverick right now, I am not sitting here going, oh yeah, I have a confirmed spot. I'm thinking next round is going to be me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's a lot, I think, of people who have low morale in NXT.
Irvin says NXT is not canon. Yeah, it's 100% not canon right now. Nicholas says NXT is the developmental brand for AEW. It was.
That's a good line, bro. I agree with that. You know what? That's the nail on the head right now, bro. I think that what WWE is trying to do is not make NXT canon. Full stop.
Yeah, not make NXT canon and stop making NXT the developmental for AEW. Why, going back to the whole, back in the boardroom, I'm Nick Khan. Why are we wasting money paying these indie talents and arguably getting them popular so that they can go to AEW and be popular instead of coming to Raw or SmackDown where they won't be appreciated or where they won't be pushed in that way, or they won't succeed, quote unquote.
Groom their own Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
If I'm a Brock Lesnar, right, I'm a superstar, I would consider AEW a second-rate show. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's either WWE or I go to NFL. Why would I want to think about AEW? So I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I don't think we can look at this is a positive move or a negative move. It is just, it is what it is. And
it is
how
reality,
how Triple H and Shawn Michaels deal with it is going to, basically lay the foundation for the future of the main roster. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad move for WWE. It will be a bad move for NXT fans, as in we are not going to be able to see like these amazing, work rate matches anymore. We're just going to see a lot of boas.
I don't want to end on that note, but I guess we have to.
Irvin very quickly also mentions that Bray Wyatt was not reliable. We don't know what really was going on with the whole Bray Wyatt situation, but I get it as well. Like, if you have a high functioning talent but they are not there half the time, then it becomes a liability. And it doesn't matter how much merchandise you're going to sell. And let's face it, The Fiend is a WWE copyright. Why pay Bray Wyatt the money when he's not there half the time?
But I don't think it's because he chooses to not be there. It's just because the way their character is written makes sense for him to not be there wrestling every single time. If you want to counter that, I would say why Aleister Black got fired then. Because Aleister Black is not as if he's for being a prima donna.
Right. Aleister Black obviously is a case of they don't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
But for me, I really don't feel like they looked at The Fiend going, oh, this is not going to make us money. He definitely is making money. They know it, right? It's a character that works. It's a character that will work through time. Like not so much an Undertaker. I know a lot of people compare him to Undertaker, but I compare him to a Mick Foley more than the Undertaker.
But the difference is The Fiend or Bray Wyatt or Husky Harris was a WWE developmental product. Not an indie guy. So I don't know. It's tough lah.
Vince is he who remains, and he didn't want to juggle the timelines anymore, so he just deleted the NXT timeline.
I like that Loki reference, bro.
Yes, he just went. Okay,
much appreciated.
I'm a TW. I don't know. The TVA came in and pruned the entire NXT timeline. None of this shit ever existed. So.
Wow.
In a way, that's a great way to look at it.
That's the best way to end this podcast.
Yeah, let's just freaking enjoy NXT TakeOver, and maybe we are making a mountain out of a molehill. Maybe they were just doing a bit of house cleaning, and this whole death of NXT has been overhyped. It's hyperbole, right? And NXT is gonna just continue on as it always did, because at the end of the day, cream will rise to the top. You have Triple H and Shawn Michaels that arguably training maybe more green people, but they are still there training them, and they will still have your Tommaso Ciampas, your Johnny Garganos to sort of carry the load on their shoulders.
Yeah. Well, to answer the question, is it the death of NXT? Yes, as we know it, but I don't think NXT is gonna go away anytime soon.
Oh no! At most, they just lose their TV deal and becomes an internet show.
Yeah, but it makes for a great YouTube title, lah. So.
Oh yeah, so there you go. Anyway, yeah, hopefully the rebirth will be as good as the previous one. But if anything, right, we'll look back on this in 10, 15, 20 years and talk about how we talk about the Attitude Era, Golden Era, Ruthless Aggression
WWE,
Era.
ECW.
Yeah, era. Now we have an NXT era, as in the reality show era. Then we have the what would be the second era of NXT? Like,
I guess the Super Indie era.
it's the Super Indie era, and then now we're going back to developmental era. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we shall see.
This could be the PG era of NXT. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean, bro.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Anyway, we've had fun talking about it and the what ifs, what could be. At some point in time, we will do a what if episode. I'm actually quite excited for that now. So, y'all, let's enjoy NXT TakeOver and SummerSlam. And like I mentioned, next Monday, we will come up right after NXT TakeOver is over and done with and dusted. And we will be live chatting with you guys about it. Plus our SummerSlam reactions as well.
And also the first dance, Rampage.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what's going to happen.
I keep forgetting about that because I'm like, okay lah. CM Punk only big fuck.
For those who know, we know. We are excited.
Oh, roll my eyes, yeah. You and your CM Punk... your CM Punk nut huggers. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to turn heel.
No.
I'm going to turn heel on all you guys and just be like anti CM Punk from now on. How about that?
I think you already turned heel on most of the New Japan fans already, bro.
You're like, what? You didn't watch the New Japan show, bro? I got no time, bro. Actually, I got time. Like, it's just I don't want to watch any. That's all.
Yeah, it's okay.
It is what it is. Huh? Okay, we will be back again soon. Thank you so much for watching the podcast. And as always, drop into our socials, say hi, drop a like. You know the whole deal. And yeah, we'll catch you guys again soon. All right, it's Mr. Young.
And it's for the building, guys. Have a great SummerSlam weekend.
Oh, yeah.